Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you happen to be in the world. Welcome to tradertv.live. After the single worst performing day for the Dow since January, we're seeing North American stock futures trying to bounce here a little bit. We're off the lows from the pre-market, led by some of the big tech stocks that we saw get sold off sharply following April inflation data out yesterday morning that came in higher than expected. The NASDAQ leading the way to the downside yesterday. Both the S&P and NASDAQ down 2+% at the end of the day, while the Dow tumbled 681 points, about 1.9 and change on the percent side of things. There was one bright spot this morning, or I guess it was aftermarket yesterday, but 5 p.m. yesterday, we learned that the Colonial Pipeline restarted. So gasoline flowing once again towards the East Coast in the U.S. So we'll see how that affects, if it affects, some of the energy stocks coming up. Meanwhile, Elon added again, sending crypto markets tumbling yesterday after tweeting that Tesla will halt accepting payment for their cars using Bitcoin, and pointed towards energy consumption as the reason for this decision, backtracking on the decision we saw going the other direction about a month or so ago. On the earnings front today, we'll talk about Bumble, Sonos reported, and Vroom as well. Not really doing much, but Sonos, big beat for them, benefiting from the stay-at-home play. It's Thursday, May 13th, 2021. TraderTV.live starts now. And there we go. Look at North American markets here. You can see, as we mentioned, NASDAQ leading the way back to the upside here, 0.6 already. The Dow basically flat. S&P slightly higher. That is well off the lows from when we first sat down this morning. The TSX futures here in Toronto slightly negative so far. Brazil Open trading higher. Crypto's under pressure still. Both Bitcoin and Ethereum down big time today. Crude oil down as well, 2%. We saw a big bounce in energy markets yesterday, coming under pressure again today following some inventory data that Colonial Pipeline restarted. As we mentioned, though, guys, all about crypto today. We are bouncing, though. Bitcoin back above 50,000 here.
Yes, sir. Elon. I mean, I'm not even sure where you start with this. Obviously, some of the concerns that Elon would have had, he would have had before. The bounce that just happened off of that, like 40, overnight up that 4,700, you go back into like April. So there were some that would say with that heavy consolidation that a pullback was maybe even healthy, and this could have been the catalyst for, and the necessary catalyst for it. And whether you wanted to get into the debate about Elon per se, the naysayers are just going to point to this and say that, oh yeah, this is all the reason in the world. Like one tweet just sends it down. Essentially as much as, I mean, right now it's not nearly as bad, but it'll send you down like 15, 20%, and that can still happen, so it's not going to be stable. And honestly, it's the level of sort of discourse over this energy consumption issue is a little bit kind of crazy, because you see people like, oh, let's put up a chart of just pure energy consumption that Bitcoin is taking up. Okay, well, that has no context. Let's put up a chart showing that gold mining is like 10x, and the banking industry is even bigger than that. And that has no context as well. And it's like there's almost like no sober thinking in there. Obviously, no one's talking about the fact that renewables are heavily involved in the mining of Bitcoin in terms of a percentage basis. And it's I don't know, like maybe that's just the Twitter thing. I have no idea. I kind of feel like I'm going to be watching some Tesla today. We're going to be watching some of the crypto names. Only one of them is up, and we'll get to that one a little bit later. But Elon, it's just like, and they didn't even sell their Bitcoin position. All they did is say they're no longer going to be accepting for payments in Teslas, and I don't know. It's just, I feel like he stuck his foot in his mouth, but at the same time, you can't cheer the guy when he's propping things up and then get mad at him, blame the entire world on one little tweet that he makes. So it is what it is. I think we've come to expect this. I'm going to be watching the price action today. It's probably going to give you a buying opportunity across the board. It's just that energy concern. Ethereum was probably due for a pullback anyways. Bitcoin was hanging out in too tight of a range for too long to have not made some kind of a move. And Tesla, oddly enough, is getting a slight bounce this morning off of this. We'll see.
So, I mean, we're getting a lot of love on the chat here because of Cardano, right? And I mean, the thing is, Cardano, I have the chart up all-time highs right now. I rotated out. I tweeted this out yesterday. I rotated out of Bitcoin, some Bitcoin. I dropped about 20% of my Bitcoin yesterday, about 52, 53,000, rotated back into ADA, right? I mean, Cardano here. Go with, if you want to talk about power consumption, I mean, you got to go with something that's an ERC20 or some sort of a token that's not a coin that's mined the same way that Bitcoin is. And Cardano. So I went over to Cardano. I did lighten up. I said that yesterday. I lightened up some Ether. I lightened up some BTC. And I went into more and more Cardano, and I actually turned over some. I had some Dogecoin, turned that over to Cardano, and we're buying a little bit of Ether on some of this dip as well. 3,800. We did sell. So I don't know. I feel silly doing it, but like selling at 41 or 42 and buying back at 38. I mean, it's fine. You do have a bigger dump, possibly, like Neil was mentioning. I mean, these things are due for pullbacks, but again, the majority of my holdings now still in Ether, but ADA taking over Bitcoin. That happened a while ago. So really happy with that. And look, I'm just glad I got everybody involved with that coin, Cardano. We started talking about it. I mean, if we won, for those of you that are new in this, let's look at a daily chart here for Cardano. Yeah, it's not Dogecoin. This is an actual real coin that, the Ethiopian government starting to put education, their grades, their marks, their tests, everything on the Cardano blockchain as well. So, I mean, this stock has been going crazy. We started talking about this in November. I mean, it was 15 cents. Right, so if you can guess the kind of prices that I'm long at, then you get up here 190 right now. So I still think there's a lot of hope for crypto, and I think a lot of these coins are in their infancy. Just don't get too wrapped up. Bitcoin is, like that liquid gold kind of thing, even though that's oil. But Bitcoin is the name behind everything, so I think it still is fine. But there's just a lot of under projects here that still will lift this environment. So I don't know why I have Boeing up here, Boeing up 0.87 right now. But Brendan, that's my thought on crypto, and I'm glad that people are mentioning in the chat that they did get into Cardano because there's some safety there.
Yeah, it's going to have to watch this today and see how things play out once we get the market going. I want to show a couple of economic numbers, guys, that just came out here. We had the weekly jobless claims there, down slightly from what was expected, 490 versus 473. Direct your attention over here to last week. We got 498. They revised that higher, which is typical, but a heads up there. We did get a little spike in the futures, but they are continuing to the upside. And then we got the CPI yesterday. Here's the PPI, which is producer prices, 6.2 versus 5.9, 0.6 versus 0.3 on the monthly number and the year-over-year number there for, again, producer prices versus the CPI that we got yesterday. Before we get any further here, let's get over to the desk and say good morning to Miss V.
Good morning, guys. It's going to be an interesting, busy day. I wish you all the luck and kindly remind you to like this video and subscribe to our channel. Let's get it started, Brandon.
Let's indeed get it started, guys. We're seeing a nice bounce overall. Feels like sentiment getting a little bit of a bounce here since I sat down anyways. We had the NASDAQ, as we mentioned, crushed again yesterday, all these big tech stocks. We're going to get into individual names here, but just as an overall view, do we see this momentum kind of continue here from the pre-market? I mean, it's hard to tell at this point, but it seems like there are some legit buyers and volume coming in.
Yeah, it's almost as if, it's almost as if you had to have all phases of the market have a bit of a sell, and then you'd maybe find a little bit of a temporary bottom. And I'm sort of, you're talking about, I saw US Steel come in yesterday, and then I was looking at Honeywell as well, and you look at some of those Dow names that started to sell off. Of course, my daily trade doesn't want to cooperate there in Honeywell, but either way, some of those Dow names start to sell off as well, and then across the board, you start to make some interesting little bottoms there, and even maybe the crypto, the Bitcoin sell-off was the catalyst to get to some of those bottoms. And the reason I had that Tesla chart up was simply just showing, if you look at this on the 15, I mean, you had that dump, and then you get that 578, and this was buying on on command here in the morning once that low was actually touched, that 578 level, right back into 600. And you sort of see that across the board. Now, obviously, this is not necessarily going to extend to some of those beat up names. I don't know, for lack of a better word, I'm talking about your Lemonades, which actually is even lower today, and a couple of the other ones that have been those high flyers, those recent IPOs, the super high valuation names. They're not really participating as much in this, so you start to hopefully see money come back in, I would like to say, to some of the better run companies, and some, for lack of a better term, of course. And I just happened to notice double bottom in Tesla. I don't know that I'd be betting on the bounce in Lemonade today. I kind of thought that might be the case if it could have held 60, but some of those other ones could be still fades. like Wish, which is pretty much always one, and I should be short already.
Yeah, I mean, when Wish came out, Brendan was talking about a story about a fake golf club or something that someone thought they bought a TaylorMade, and then they took a shot or a swing, I guess, and the head went flying off, and they realized it was fake. So that right there alone, when that IPO came out, I didn't even. And every time I was on Wish, I thought it was the same kind of thing. I thought it was like a. I don't want to say anything because I don't know enough about it.
You know the word.
My pickup today, and we've tweeted it out, and it's the one that I like the most. I've had it start there at the bottom. It's Square there at 210. So I think if Square can break through this 210 area right here, I like this. It's only 208 right now. The NASDAQ bumping up to day's high right now. And again, why Square? First of all, you guys know I'm a fan of the fintech space. I think there's so much more to go there. So that's why we like Square. We like PaySafe as well if you like something a little bit cheaper. But you know what? It's just this crypto stuff, the market bouncing back. Square been getting absolutely destroyed yesterday. It's been a hard time for Square since earnings, but even though the earnings I thought were fantastic, they were up 10% or something that day. But you could see back down, and then you got this bottom. I mean, we've seen bottoms break. So let's not think that, hey, you know what, Square's never going below 200. I mean, it is probably. It touched it yesterday. So let's wait to see on Square, but that's the one I like. If this market holds up the rally, I like Square through 210. But I mean, we're still 50 minutes away from an opening bell. So I think that Square probably, will dance around there. And if I'm right, it probably breaks it before the market opens. So I like Square in a rebound. And then I know we're just talking about some bigger names here, but Neil went over Tesla. We have Softy here. Softy bouncing off 238, I believe it was yesterday. I like if the chart loads. Yeah, there it is. Yeah, 238. So we had a couple 238 days in a row there. Oh, come on. So that's something to look at. We're only at 241. So if the market does fall, I do want to pick up some Softy. And I like it a little bit better because I feel like I can load up more shares. And again, it's just trade what you're comfortable with. Facebook, if you're wrong, I know I can lose $5 or $6 on Microsoft. I feel like, the risk is a little bit lower because you can control it a little bit easier on a Microsoft. So I like Microsoft on a dip, and I like Square on a break to the upside.
We might as well just jump right into Tesla here because, I mean, it's going to be the hot topic of the day, and it's right here, right now, trying to break these pre-market highs, holding nicely above 600, guys. I want to show you this. Looks like SpaceX has chosen Google Cloud. I mean, to be expected for SpaceX and Starlink internet connectivity. We are getting a little bit of activity, though, on Tesla here on that headline, it looks like.
Like we were saying, it's just you're getting right back into that 600 level. What I'd love to see, I mean, ideally, we've shown this like before. Like I just like buying dips potentially, and I mean, like this is not the only chart where you're getting a bit of a ramp up. I just saw Coinbase break through a level that I was going to be interested in. So you're trying to play a little bit of patience because you're not going to catch an opening break at 600. At least I don't think. I mean, there's still time for the market for Tesla to come back in and maybe consolidate off of 93. It feels like it's pretty unlikely you're going to get anything, too crazy off that bottom. But I kind of think that if all hell breaks loose, like 84, 85 off of an 80, at some point would be worthwhile. But that would be some kind of a reversal that I just can't anticipate happening here. So I'm kind of hoping it's like a shallow test of 600 that maybe stops a few people out at the open, and then you're looking to catch a 595. There's just so much room to run here. For Tesla, sort of getting beaten up here and consolidating almost the last couple of days, like I said. And if you can get any kind of push, you just fill that gap in and you're like 640, 645, right? Like that's $40 from here. So there's so much potential upside. If there's even a solid 2-day rally in Tesla, I mean, you're getting a fantastic return. So I got to be on the long side of Tesla today. I mean, I know usually we are, but it bears without saying today. It goes without saying. There's some decent opportunities. I like that 95 dip. If anything gets crazier, I'd probably try it at least another time in front of that low of the day as well. 600 breakout, obviously that's not going to be there.
So yeah, from one side of that story to the other, I think Google is a completely must own. This is, I'm seriously, I had thoughts about this, but I have thoughts about lots of things. Was to basically rotate or sell everything, not everything, keep Apple, keep a few of these other ones I like, Square, things like that, AMD. I have too many names. And go into Google. I just think that Google is something that needs to be owned. It's my largest holdings. I absolutely love this stock. I think they're in everything, and I think it's a very, very safe this is going to sound crazy, but I think Google is a pretty safe place to hide. And I know that sounds ridiculous because of Google. You think tech's getting wrecked, you know. But the thing about Google is they're in absolutely everything, and you know, just making big moves there. You see that move in the cloud with Tesla. And then, you know, we're back down to this 50 period. You've had a beautiful drop from 2,400 down to 2,200 there. So you get a little bit of a, you know, 7-8%, depending on what the numbers are exactly. Dip down here in Google. I think it's a great opportunity to buy this name. You can buy it back to January, February levels almost right here, 2,100 or so. But I mean, this is about as consistent as you can go. I mean, if you don't have a stomach for some of these crazier trades, you know, that we've been talking about, look how consistent this is really. And then this is something else to kind of hold your hat on, considering what that meant in March. So Google was just to say trading at, you know, remember, these were all-time highs before coronavirus happened, right? So 1427, and it only went down, and you know, it's kind of bad, but to 1,100 or so. You know, you got a lot of stocks that got absolutely destroyed, and Google held up. And then since then, man, it's just bang, bang, bang all the way up. And it rides this 50 period like a lot of stocks do. So I like Google right here, and I think it's a pickup everywhere. I can't give you any levels. It's a $7 spread right now, and I don't think there's any actionable news to go long today. But I do think if you're going to pick it up and you're going to start to build a portfolio, I actually feel like an idiot buying BABA the other day. I don't. I like Alibaba, and we'll talk about that. But like all my new capital, I'm really debating. I may not switch out of anything I have, but I'm debating putting everything that's new to work in Google. It's amazing. If you think about all the products they have, plus they have, you know, machine learning. There's the new Google. We used to have one in Toronto, and I think they scrapped it. What were they going to do? Call it like Google Street or something like that? A neighborhood that they were building up there, down there on the waterfront. So, anyways, I love the name. I'm a Pixel kind of guy, and we all have Gmail. So I like Google.
The lesson of the day. Love it. Sean, you were showing Boeing there when we first jumped on. Predicting the future, possibly. There was a little headline that just came out there. We learned this yesterday. The FAA came out and said they support and now approve the fix that they have come up with for this latest in a string of problems with this 737 MAX on the electrical side. So there was actually, your charts were thinking ahead, I guess, for Boeing, guys.
Yeah, well, remember, I do have that crystal ball, so I'll pull it out every once in a while. But that was, Brendan, as I mentioned before, thank you for the credit there, but it was a complete fluke. It just had to happen to be something that I had up there. And because we had some questions about Boeing yesterday, and it was just a dramatic fall down. We were long. I forget where we were long. I think it was 225 when that news came out. It was about here, and then it bumped up. And then after that, it was just a straight sell-off, and we were talking about it in the after show. So that's, you know, I guess that's why it was up there. But I'm looking for it to break this 220. It doesn't look strong right now. I have no idea. I thought Boeing was going to be one of those good reopen plays, and they sort of have been, right? I mean, this is the daily chart. You do get that bump up here, and it's just been fading out lately, and it's not above the 50 period. That's the numbers that I like. I can't think about putting it into a long-term trade until we get above that. But if you're just dipping here, then I think you have some levels. I know you like this as well, Neil, back to 200.
So a small theory, and this might be entirely untrue. I wish I could ask Mark about this, and maybe I will tomorrow. But just the nature in which the sell-off went, so sort of tech, and then the ES sort of followed through, and then the Dow was sort of later, and maybe you can add crypto. I don't think that really matters with Bitcoin because that's news-based. I kind of feel like some of those more stable names that participated in the sell are going to be a little bit later to the party. Like today, you might look at a little bit more of the tech and the higher valuation names, and then maybe it'll take a few days, maybe next week, that we'll actually start to get a bounce back in a Boeing. I don't love the fact that you get that news and we're not going to trade to the upside here. So I'm not necessarily thinking about waiting until the 50 period because I do want to have more Boeing. But I'm probably trying to be patient and wait for like a 200 level and just see if it comes back down to me. Of course, it's great buying on momentum if it goes to the upside, but for now, if it slides any further, I'll start thinking about buying it. I don't see much of a day trade because of the lack of reaction to this news, but it would have to be a severe dip that I'm buying on. And again, I just don't necessarily see that happening.
All right, guys, let's go to upgrades and downgrades for today. A few significant ones to point out. Bumble on this side of things It was okay. The report was kind of okay. It's flat so far this morning, but we'll have a look at Bumble coming up. This Vroom not really doing anything as far as volume in the pre-market. Bill Ackman likes Domino's, so does Baird with an upgrade today, 485 for DPZ. Sonos is well down here. Salesforce on this side, Lemonade, Snowflake, and CrowdStrike, all to the downside, guys.
Snowflake price target 300? Oh man, let's have a quick look. I just want to have a quick
happened
look
to
at
Lemonade? What?
Lemonade's gotten destroyed.
It just bounced like $4.
Yeah, it's down to 57. I saw.
When the heck was it 54? How did I not see that? Oh my god.
Yeah, I don't know. You'll have a chance to buy it at 54 probably. Okay, so 243 Snowflake. We talked about this before. I did not step into this at all. It's not the right. Oh man, what is this wick? What is that? The reference price? Oh my god, $25. Okay, so Snowflake down here. We did have this issue. We talked about this before. This is when I was talking about getting options on it and things like that, but it never broke that 243, so we stay away from Snow. And again, like all of these stocks that are like kind of like the Cathie Wood, the innovated, the new, the no revenue, the big idea stocks, you know, they just continue to get crushed. So, but like a price target of 300 would almost be a double from here. So I'm not sure about that downgrade, but there it is right there. Another name, so I like Snowflake. I'd rather put my money in Google. We just talked about that. And then another name that I think, and again, call me crazy, but like, why is Salesforce, like what has happened to Salesforce here? You know, we know they bought Slack, and I thought that was relatively liked, that call, but maybe not. This breakout, I was sort of upset that I missed this back upside. I thought we would retest highs. Obviously, this market right here has given you an amazing opportunity to get into this customer relations spot. I mean, it's data. If I like Palantir, I kind of got to like Salesforce and Snowflake. They're all the same sort of thing. They're data analytics and use of software. So let's wait to see. But I like Salesforce here. And I think, and I know we've talked about this even with Mark, the stock father, Sun Lake Strategy, shout out. He likes this name as well. I just, you know, I like Mark Benioff. I like everything that Salesforce is doing. And I just don't know where the bottom's going to be in this thing, and maybe we've given it a chance to go to 200. Let's pick some up if it goes down there. Oh, I'm doing it again. I just said, like, I have too many names, and I want to put everything in Google, and then here's another one that I like. So I don't know if anything took your eye there, Neil. You mentioned Lemonade.
No, if only because I just finished saying I don't think the bounce is going to extend to stocks like that yet, and then notice that when I came in, like, this stock was not, like, you know, it was just trending around that 57, thinking, okay, they're going to get another shot to short a floor. Next thing I know, it breaks down like $2.50 into 54.40, and then makes this sharp sort of like V return to the upside. I didn't see a news floor. Maybe there is one, but I probably doubt it. It just has that volatility in it. It'll be interesting because if it can actually now hold that 57, you do get a chance that you could get that rubber band buy, which I didn't think was going to happen today. Maybe it does happen. So I'll be looking at that 57 level, possibly in the other direction today. That if we bounce off of this and if we hold that at 9:30, you could look at like a 59 break on Lemonade, something I did not think I was going to be saying 15 minutes ago. I'm in a couple of positions. That Pally's on our watch list. VTNR off earnings is not. That one's working well, but if it breaks like a 175, I have to watch out for it. But I didn't think I'd be buying Lemonade today, but it's giving me a chance maybe.
Just noticing somebody talking about Occugen there back at 10. Yeah, it's a big level for Occugen. No significant news to pass along for OCGN today, but interesting one. Let's have a look at what is moving around in the pre-market, guys. If you haven't done so already, make sure you head over to that link and grab our free watch list. We send it out every single day, free to you. We do your homework for you. Then you come join us at 8:30 and we talk about how to approach trading these things. We can't avoid these crypto stocks today with this move in Bitcoin, but as we said, we're kind of hovering around this 50,000 area for Bitcoin at the moment. Let's talk about some of these, I guess. I mean, Coin you can kind of throw into this group at this point, I feel, but Coin down the least out of this group. It was about 5% when I checked. Early on this morning, Mara, Riot, SOS, BT. Take your pick, guys.
If only because like I kind of had, and I came in, I wrote down some levels on Coin, and then I kind of had to backtrack and delete them just because of the move that happened already. I'm going to go back to like maybe like 275. I think that's going to still remain valid for Coinbase. And we've talked about this before. Like once it hit the reference price of 250 and bounced off there, you're going to turn me bullish. I really would have hoped, and obviously, a lot of this is going to have to do with what happened overnight, but Coinbase was selling off if you look at yesterday's action when it couldn't hold 300 anyway. So the fact that it's going to come right back is probably a decent sign. If we can get back above that 280 and hold that today, I'll be very, very ecstatic about it. I like 275 for initial look, but much like every dip, like the really good dip buys have been almost more extreme, right? Coming right back into those lows and then getting a fantastic opportunity. Like that 260 was absolutely golden. And you guys, if you guys were watching, I bungled that one at a 61 long and wouldn't give it a couple of bucks. I don't want to make that same mistake if I get a chance at 265 today. Like I want to make sure I get that like 66, 67. And then give it maybe back to like 63.5 or 64. Just let it break that level and then see if it's going to be good. So I'll probably take a shot at 75 just because we've already made a move to the upside a little bit early. But the real long I like is off of that 65 level. And that's the one that I'd give room. The 75 long or in front of 75, I'm probably going to have a tighter stop there because it's likely at the open. But all systems go. If they try to sell this back in, the dips have been pretty good on Coinbase, and I'll sort of stick with what works for now.
Yeah, so I would love to talk about Coinbase. Neil just talked about it, so we'll pass on that, and then we'll just talk about Mara and Riot and things like that. Like, just I haven't done enough. You never see me trading it. I don't know enough about the relationship between Mara and how that moves. I mean, I assume as Bitcoin tanks, Mara will tank, and so on and so forth. And it's just like Bitcoin yesterday was pretty stable throughout the day. I mean, there was some moves, but like 26 down to 23. As a percentage, that's too big. And the thing is like, if you look at the daily chart here, this is just May 3rd, right? If I look at the price of BTC on May 3rd, it's not cut in half right now. So that's $40 all the way down to $20. So I just, and probably the same thing for Riot as well. I think if you're going to do anything, we saw Silvergate today. We'll talk about that. We saw Silvergate today being backed. The Facebook's going to put out their coin. There's some backing there as well. So, and the same thing here is true of Mara. Riot. You have a 42 top there, 43, and this is the same day, basically, May 3rd, May 4th. And then right now, 10 days later, that's probably 6 trading days maybe, later, maybe more, down half. So, again, I don't understand the correlation between some of these stocks and the crypto market. Obviously, they're mining. Any sort of talk on mining right now may be negative into today due to those Elon comments. So I would watch out for a 24 break. But again, like BTC is holding up. Like I got text last night and shout out if you're watching this, maybe you are, who you are, telling me crypto crushed, crypto dead, everything like that. Like, really? Is it? And I just look at this and I say, this is not crushed. Like, crushed is the equity markets, not the crypto markets. Equity markets crushed. Crypto markets holding up, right? And if you can't withstand, honestly, guys, like a 10% move down in crypto, then you should be a little lighter in it because I think these moves are bound to happen. It's still the new wave. It's still new. We just got a report here from BlackRock saying that Bitcoin is the future. Don't worry about it, blah, blah, blah. I didn't read the whole report, but that it is a legitimate investment. And I don't know. Can it go lower? Yes. Can it go to 30,000? You're not going to like this, but yes, it can. Just like Square could go to 190. Just like AMD can go from 100 to 75, like it did. Just like Space can go from 60 to 15. There's a lot of talk on crypto and people scared about it, but like, you don't get these runs in those other stocks either, right? And so this is up right now. It's still a double from December. It was a triple. So yeah, we're going to give some back. And if I call up the Ether chart, then I'll even look more foolish because that's up, 1,000%. So let's just slow down on this talk of crypto mania crashing and everything like that. If you got your money in yesterday, yeah, you're down 6%. Hold it if you don't like it. Get out if you don't like that kind of volatility. But to me, I like Bitcoin and I would stay not away from it. I would be running towards it on any dips.
Yeah, I can show you these comments here that just came out. If my screen will load, here we go. BlackRock's reader saying Bitcoin is durable and it is not just there yet as a normal stable asset, but they also said that it will be a part of the investment arena for years to come. So something to, yeah, there you go. That's just not a good graphic.
That was good.
Robbie. We'll have to revisit that one maybe. Let's, do we have a room, guys, or we'll just jump right into the next one here. He's just going to keep doing it now. It's fine. Let's go to Bumble, guys. Bumble reported It was kind of in line with expectations. The overall report seemed fine. I mean, it was in line, as we said. The user growth was impressive. They did warn, however, of they were kind of unsure what the outcome of in-person meetings were going to, or how that was going to affect the stock going forward. I would think people getting back together physically for dates would be good for Bumble.
I mean, that's exactly what I was thinking, going into this. And look, if you're going to get what was actually a solid report, and let's be honest about it, right? Like, that's what we're talking about here. They had some pretty decent numbers, guys, and it's on the watch list. It's going to be number 2 in there. You think you get some buy support off of this? I'm staring this low from yesterday right in the face, and the rest of the market is going to look to maybe rebound off of some of these bottoms. You would think somebody reporting well, like a Bumble here, would catch a bit of a bid. Do I prefer shorting Wish at basically any price today as opposed to taking Bumble through 50, 45, 50? Probably true, but it's not going to preclude me from, if you can't go to the upside in a situation like this on a Bumble, then I'm probably going to be looking to sell it through the low. It's about $1 away from that, so it has a chance to hold that bottom for sure, but I'm going to stay away from the upside. I feel like there'd be some buying action, there'd be some activity in here if somebody saw the value. Maybe it happens after the open, I'm not sure, but I got that 45.50 lock and load ready to go. That's yesterday's bottom, that's yesterday's low. Today's low is like 46.20 or so. I don't love that press just because it's right into the previous low the day before. So 45.50, I'll be going short. I keep saying I want to get into Wish, but it's just basically not moving. I'm kind of hoping and praying that someone wants to buy this thing at the open, and then you can sell into that. Otherwise, it's just going to have to short the bottom.
Yeah, I like the long in Bumble. 323 million, revenues. 323 million revenues. Lost 55 million last year. Total paying users climbed 2.8 million, 30% year-over-year increase. They're still down 1.3%, so we'll see. I like a 48 break. We had some consolidation right here at 48. And again, good reports have been beat down, so it's not, this stock probably goes down and there is no better level there than 45.50. So yeah, 45.50, a good one. I wouldn't take 46. I would wait just to see what happens. Although the volume, and I've included the volume here just to see if there's any sort of, spikes at certain areas. And I note here at 1 o'clock, this is this 47.50. It hits it, then comes back down pretty hard right there. So that's a good little area to look at there too as well. 47.50 if you like the long. I think you wait to 48 on a stock like this, but this is a NASDAQ stock. So it'll open up right away and then we'll see the action on Bumble. But look, a good report apparently doesn't mean anything. So yeah, looking short on Bumble might not be a horrible, but I have it as a long through 48. And again, the market's up point. Sort of an eyelash here. The market is up right now, 0.74. So if we go green to red, all these stocks that were up at some point are just going to get crushed. That's what's happened in the past. We've seen that. So even though on a good report, Bumble still could get hit today. And I don't know. Trend is your friend. So yeah, the short is going to be right on this one, it appears. That's a shame. I remember when that stock IPO'd, there was so much hype for it. $72, it goes up to 85, and then everyone holding the bag all the way down. So I don't feel so bad about Palantir's tumble.
All right, quick headline before we get to Arun here on Lemonade, guys. Muddy Waters coming out. Carson Block talking about a possible security vulnerability in the Lemonade system. There wasn't much more than that. Nothing elaborated on anyways, but heads up. Muddy Waters talking about Lemonade, and it's ripping. Let's bring in Arun here. An important day to understand what to look for on the futures and the overall market. We're at significant levels. We talked about this 40-60 area, Arun. What do we do today here?
Well, today was quite interesting. Overnight we kind of went up, kind of went down, came right back. Whole lot of action, but not a whole lot of movement in terms of absolute percentage. So here we are back around that 70 mark. This is around the area where we came up to, kind of failed towards the end of the day yesterday. It was like 67 or so when we came up late in the session, like 350 or something like that. We came up here and we kind of failed and went right back down to the 50s. So I'm looking at 75. If we can get above 75 and stay, I think that's the crucial thing here. We need to get above and stay and trade there for a bit. Not immediately, but I do want to see some action above 75 that's willing to keep it up there and stay willing to trade up there. So if we get above there, I think then I'm going to shift most of my focus to the buy side, and I'm going to use 40, 55 as my stop. If we can get 75 broken and we can actually stay above, then I'm going to look for some sort of a pullback, maybe into the low 70s, high 60s. Look for some sort of turnaround, and then I'll use 40, 55 as your stop. Now, if we come back below 65, 40, 65 without taking the 75s, I'm going to go ahead and keep the short on deck, take the short, use 75 as your stop. And that's only 10 points in risk, and look for a downside move. And of course, down to the absolute bottom here, we got 40, 30. That's the overnight low. So that's also in place. So there's a lot of different conditions attached to a lot of these trades. There's a bunch of levels to keep an eye on. 40, 30 is the absolute bottom. 40, 75, 40, 65, and 40, 55. So they're 10 points apart. And depending on how it moves and how it trades around each one of those levels, there's a trade available for you. Like I said, above 75 turns on longs, below 65 turns on the shorts. And then if you go to the long side, you've got to use 55. If you go to the short side, you got to use 75. So there's a lot there to unpack. Just, if you need to rewind and watch that again, but just keep an eye on how it's going to trade. 75 is a big number that I'm keeping an eye on, just to see if we can actually get above and actually turn this market positive. Yes, it's slightly positive. NASDAQ's up 0.75. ES is just over a quarter or a third, around a third. It's positive in those percentages, but the feel still has to turn. The market's been quite negative for the last little bit, so you want to give it a little bit of space to actually rotate to the positive side, maybe get some movement to the upside. A lot of the overnight movement you do have to take with a grain of salt because the volume's so light. So here we are waiting for something to happen around that 75 mark before we can actually make a move.
Great stuff. Thanks so much, Arun. We'll check back in again tomorrow morning. Yeah, a bit of a delayed reaction here, guys, when it comes to Lemonade, but did reverse off of 60, heading back to the downside. So still negative on Lemonade. Again, Muddy Waters apparently with a short position on, yeah, there we go. I'll show you that 60 up here. Reversed pretty hard there with a short position. Muddy Waters short Lemonade. We talked about Bumble. Let's go to Silvergate. Yeah, Sean was mentioning it there. Facebook's DM officially selecting Silvergate as the issuer for U.S.-backed securities for this this coin and this crypto-based technology, I guess you want to call it, Sean. So Silvergate, the one that's kind of standing out when the rest are pretty negative today.
Well, I mean,
Good timing for that.
Yeah, the thing about Silvergate is that now they're actually connected with, a legit company now. They're going to work on DM with Facebook. And yeah, I mean, just look at the same. I mean, all these stocks are basically in purgatory now because they're, high growth, new technology kind of names. And Silvergate, I mean, again, from 183, like if that's not a triple top, then I don't know, but that's a triple top. So there you go. And then you come back in. This is probably worth owning at this point. Just to nibble. Like I don't want anybody getting into everything at all at once, because you just saw what happened to Lemonade there. Like it went up, then it went down $3 or $4. Like I just don't know if there's any investment opportunities that are worth piling into right now until we get this. The CPI was like a white hot number yesterday, guys. So inflation up everywhere across the board, and the only real commodity that's come down or come back to life a little bit. Lumber, I'm seeing the prices of lumber starting to come back down a little bit, which is nice. Food costs still soaring. Energy, we've seen that. But anyways, SI, good levels here. I think a break of 100 is always really key. So I would look to get a 100 break. We stopped at 100 2 days ago, 98.50. So those are my levels. And actually, this is probably worth day trading today, guys. Like honestly, I don't think the spread will be that bad. The moves aren't crazy on this stock. So you could watch this with the coins as well. So yeah, there's that 98. It was stop and go a couple days ago, and it looks like we're up there again. So I like a 98 break, but we're at 93. It's very, very far away, but that was a nice move there off that Facebook number, or I guess off that Facebook news. So I like Silvergate if you're going to do anything better than Mara, better than all those other ones, but I would still just buy Coinbase or Ether.
I think the other thing too is like you got to remember, like if you're getting into this, like you're already overexposed. If you say own like Coinbase and you already own like a Square, you got the payment processors, you've got and you want to get into Silvergate, you're just piling into the sort of the same space. So it's almost like diversifying, I guess, would be the way to go when it comes to like a Silvergate. And this stock has been, look, you're still, if you go to the end of last year when we were bringing it up, the stock is still a double at this point. I think the timing is fantastic here, just because you saw some money come out of Bitcoin. Everyone will say, okay, yeah, but like Silvergate actually didn't bounce, or sort of didn't die. I like this 92 for a turning point. I sort of go back into last week. and then look at that bottom. It was a flush there, and then it became the resistance on this move. And you get the gap, of course, yesterday, after market on the news here, and then I go right back into this 92 level to see if that can hold, and then you're going to be go time on Silvergate for the day trade here. But I need to see that 92 hold, otherwise you're looking all the way back into like an 88. 100 if it gets there is going to be interesting. I don't think that necessarily you'll get that run into it today, and I might. Usually on day trades, I'm looking to fade a 100 level. I'm not sure it would be entirely different if I saw any kind of liquidity there, but 92, and if we can't hold that, I'm looking at like an 85. I'll probably take a couple of shots at Silvergate today. Coinbase is rolling back down here a little bit, so I might get a shot at that 75 a little sooner than expected. Tesla, on the other hand, not so much.
Let's talk about Tesla here. We mentioned it briefly to start things off this morning, but let's get a little bit more in depth. Elon Musk, if you missed it, after market yesterday, saying the company will no longer accept Bitcoin for payment for its cars, and said they're still going to hold crypto until there's some way that he can unwind some of the position, not, I guess, using so much energy. And then, as Neil was mentioning, posted a whole bunch of very interesting charts about energy consumption around Bitcoin, guys.
Yeah,
the thread was painful.
Look, it's all basically a load of BS, right? I mean, Elon can say whatever he wants. He's not in charge of Bitcoin. People like it for the spikes, for the bumps, for this, for that, whatever. I mean, oops, I'm still on Wish. Oh yeah, I just want to talk, but I was trash talking Wish before. I actually had no idea it was at $10, so now I feel.
I thought it was at 14 or 15. I didn't think it was that
bad. Now
bad.
I feel a little more justified that I don't like this stock. We're gonna smash that thing through 10, so watch out for that. Okay, so my talk there. Look, we love Elon. I thought he was great. I liked the guy. Did a great job on SNL. I felt. So I can't hate on him because of his wealth and what he's created. But sometimes, he does think that he is obviously has this ego, the king of the world, things like that. I don't know what his opinion is going to do to Bitcoin. I know it's going to make it go down. We saw that yesterday. That's a fact. But long term, I'm not too worried about that. But for Tesla, not accepting Bitcoin anymore as payments, I don't know. I don't know the numbers. Did they accept it? I know they accepted it, but how many cars did they sell with Bitcoin? Is that a determining factor? It's easy enough to put your Bitcoin into cash. So I don't really see it that much of a problem. You're seeing Visa, MasterCard, JP Morgan, all the major banks releasing Bitcoin products, things like that. So I think it's pretty easy to turn your cash over if you do need it. So for me, I'm not too worried about it. I like Tesla for the upside. It's been hit down. You do get that bottom yesterday in the aftermarket on some of that news, 585, 584, things like that. Back to 600 would be nice. So if you're going to go long, I would just watch out for some of these pre-market levels, including this bottom yesterday that was made, 595, 594. So we'll watch Bitcoin. I'm only long Palantir right now, we'll watch Tesla. I'm only long Palantir right now, but I don't think Tesla trades like lockstep with Bitcoin. So any sort of weakness that's created from that, I think, is a buying opportunity.
Yeah, I'm with you there. I still like that. I don't know if we're getting the dip maybe before the open, but I still like that cluster around that 95. If it gets any lower than that, then you've got to love that double bottom. The breakout is forming for a 605. I just kind of prefer the dip buy in there. It is a preferred play in Tesla, and it just I don't think it matters whatsoever. That particular news is affecting Tesla stock. Worth noting, XPEV on the way upside, so there is some movement and some strength in the EV space in general, led by XPeng.
Earnings for XPEV. We're going to get to XPeng Incorporated coming up here in a second. Let's talk about Alibaba first. A 64% jump in quarterly revenue was very much overshadowed by a $2.8 billion fine, anti-competition fine that the Chinese regulators laid on Alibaba in this quarter. So then there's the whole Ant group. They shelved the Ant group IPO because of that same reason. So if there was one, guys, that's not looking too good here currently, it's Alibaba.
Yeah. I mean, 3 points isn't huge, but I'm more worried about what happens when the market opens up because we take out this 212 here, especially on a daily chart. We're already at these levels. I last bought it, I think it was 222. I said the other day I tweeted it out as well as buying Apple. So those are my two latest long-term buys. And then now today I say I only want to own Google. So I may turn everything over and put it into Google. But I think Alibaba is just a huge buy right now, man. They're number one in China on so many levels. E-commerce, I think they're number two on e-payments. And China's economy, I don't need to tell you guys about it. So the only real effect here on Alibaba is going, I mean, there's lots. You did get that fine there, 2.8 billion. So now that's over with. So we can put that in the back pocket there. We've seen other US tech companies rally off of fines and things like that. That seems to be a big one, but you know, downside on Alibaba could continue, and I don't know how far. Like, we could get into this resting period around 200 again. I like a 215 break. I already have it locked and loaded, so we'll take a 215 break upside on Alibaba, but if tech is going to get wrecked, which it may, it's already up 0.72. Alibaba, even though listed on the NYSE, is just one of those names that will get hit. They're very similar to an Amazon. I mean, you guys can do the research there, but they were rocking and rolling, and they still have ants, so they can still go with that if they get approval. I think that's a reason there for it to run up, but there's that 215. It would be above VWAP here on a 1 minute chart. So I like a 215 break. We've actually held up a little bit here. So let's see what happens. But the market, though, could come screaming down as we've been used to. And if that happens, man, like a 213 downside, that probably happens right off the open. So we're just going to wait to see. Did I write down anything? I just wrote down that it was oversold on the sticky note. You can see that. There's not too many names, but I do like the opportunity. It's right the second one there. I said 210. Do we have to watch out for 210? So we'll put some bids downside, like 211, see if we get picked up early on that, but we're not holding it past 210. When stocks move like this, Neil, they have even numbers pegged, right? I think Coinbase still has that 250, and I think Baba has a 200. I think Square has a 200. So, you know, on a crash, you don't want to be long these things because there's lower to go before they find a bottom.
It's kind of hilarious because I wrote down, and I love, why did I write down 21 on Alibaba? Because I forgot the zero. It's that 210 area. I think long term, it's fine. The valuation compared to Amazon, instead of like, it's just, look, it compares very favorably. And if you like Amazon, which I think everybody basically does, and show me somebody that doesn't, then long term, you got to feel like you're just only talking about this government risk here, and who knows how to price that. And for the long term, I think you're fine. On the day trade, it's sort of like Bumble. It's hard for me to look at something on the low today when you're getting a bit of a bounce, and then feel overly bullish about it. So if it breaks the upside, there's other things I like for breakout long, but that 210, I'm probably going to be shorting it when it goes through. If it goes through 210, I'm not betting, of course, that it has to happen, but only if it breaks that low, that 210 even, I want to be short on Alibaba.
All right, let's go to EV space. As we mentioned, XPeng Incorporated trading higher this morning. A lot of these smaller, Chinese specifically, EV makers kind of left for dead over the past couple of weeks, but record deliveries in the quarter for XPeng, decent numbers right across the board. It was a loss, 13 cents beating by 7 cents, but still a loss for XPEV. Guys, we're higher on that.
Yeah, and sort of this is what you're kind of looking for, right? Like you get, like, obviously they have fantastic numbers through there, but you get that low, you put in a higher low yesterday into the release, and then you're sort of holding the next level up, which would be this even $1.25. And I mean, you know, you can probably go back into yesterday's bottom at 24.35, 24.50 or something like that, just to give it a little bit of extra room if you're super confident. But if you sort of believe in the comeback that we're sort of seeing here, I think I like to take a shot at XPEV at that 25 level or on this little dip that you're seeing right now. So we're going to go through this one and go for that long side. Do I prefer Tesla? I mean, I've had much more success trading Tesla. But XPEV is in play today, so you got to make sure you hold a little bit through. The mistake I usually have on XPEV here is just XPeng, I should say. I always say a stock ticker name. That's just how I roll. Is not holding through one of these levels. You have to usually let the even go and then find a level a little bit lower, whether it's giving an extra 10 cents or 20 cents or even all the way to the previous bottom. If you don't give it some extra room, you tend to get stopped out, especially in early morning trades. So when you're buying the dip on XPeng, I find it's not like doing it in NEO or doing it in one of these other names that has a little bit more liquidity. You know you're giving it some more room here. And actually, as I say all of this, I just saw this order come out of nowhere here. Someone just selling some 25.80. So if I see that start following it down, I'll probably wait to see if it's gone before buying any dip in XPeng.
So I mean, any dip will be great. 24.50 would be absolutely fantastic. I think we'll put a bid there soon. I didn't do that yet. All I put in was this 27. I love this level. right here. And I wrote it down again. It's on. This is actually the double star. So Square is the single star. XPEV is the double star there for 27 break. So you can find that on Twitter. If that breaks through 27 right here, I love this name today. You can see like the kind of movement that this can have is enormous. It can take off or it could tank. Either way, like look at this. This is a 26, ripped all the way to 27.50 there before turning around. So that card actually looked pretty nice there that Brendan just showed. Not that we're buying it based on that, but you know, good deliverables. I think this name has a lot to run. Obviously, if you look at a daily chart, this is just a 1 minute. Neil already went over some levels there. Look how this has been just beat down. This reminds me a lot of Neo, back to that 30-50 level that we've seen. And the bottom here, the kind of good thing about this is the bottom's 23. So you're not in that much danger by taking longs right now. Like you're going to lose that 10% or so if you do go long and you want to get out at that bottom of 23 and then maybe average into 18, 19. But I like XPeng here. I think it has a chance to go, and I like the 27 levels. So quickly though, there's only 10 minutes left. When I said there was 50 minutes left, I was like, oh God, we're in trouble. But we have still tons of time, not tons of time, but 10 minutes to go with a few key things here. Look at all these buys. One thing to notice, there's that Bill Ackman SPAC there, Brendan, PSTH. Palantir, a big buy. We'll talk about that. I'm already long Palantir, flat on it right now, long 27s. AMC, Valeria's been banging the table on that one. She notices that that's a lot in the chat there. We'll talk about AMC as the market gets going, but there's Uber as well. Another beat down name down to 44. I even like this name at 56. I'm not in it, but Uber on the downside here. Nice move up right now, but look at this chart on Uber. Also, yuck. Like nastiness, man. Now, there's so many stocks are huge buying opportunities now. It's just, you sort of got to sit on your hands, I feel like, and then maybe even sell some of these rallies. NASDAQ up 1%.
Yeah, interesting. No XPEV on that imbalance locator, even with that big offer we saw. I guess it was 100,000 shares. So we'll see what happens with XPeng here. Let's talk about big tech stocks. We're getting on in time. Sonos on the list as well. They reported not really doing a heck of a lot of volume, but big move. Sonos up more than 10% at one point. Big tech, though, guys, going to be an important day, I feel, for these. If the market's going to hold up, it might be on the back of some of these names.
Yeah, for sure. I want to quickly just note I'm only buying Sonos above 36. You can already see it fall below that price a couple of times here in the pre-market. So if it gets above that price, I think you're going to be good to go for a long, but it's retracing too far. I know some people were looking at it and wanted some comments, but when you're not holding up these levels in the aftermarket and when you start breaking to the downside, I need to see a retracement. Break that 36 and I can get to the long side. Below 35, I would probably be bearish on Sonos today to fill in some of that gap. When it comes to big tech, I was trading Facebook yesterday, and I kind of feel like it had, well, the last couple of days anyways, I guess we're looking at some Facebook. And this is kind of what we were hoping for the last few sessions, obviously. You're getting that push through and above that 300 level, starting to try to break out here. It's only 1%, but, and I throw like the but in here, this is what we're looking at, right? Like this is what we've been trying to get to. I know there's some chop up at 308, but I mean, I look at this 307, that's like 306.80. I look at that 307 here and it's like, if this is it, then this is 307 breakout. It's actually very close to it. We're up 1%. Does it feel like maybe it's a bit of one of those like traps where you get that long off of the open and then you're immediately retracing back in? Sure, it has a little bit of that feel, but I can't stare at this and not think about going long on a 307 break in Facebook. I just can't. So I'll be trying this one likely at the open and possibly before that, because with 7 minutes to go, we're only 50 pennies away on Facebook here, so it could be making that 307 break. And if you think we're recovering back in, you got to find some of these longs, and you can't only buy dips, I suppose.
Yeah, no, I'm going to talk. Oh, God, I just got wicked. Oh, damn it. I just got a stop order, got wicked out there on Palantir. Give me a break. I was just going to say we're long Palantir. I guess I got to get long again right now if I can here. Maybe I got to take 35.
Oh, one of those?
Oh, damn it. Shoot. So I was just going to say we're long Palantir all the way up there. We did not mean to sell, so I'm just going to get back long again on Palantir. This should have been a bigger winner, obviously, on board, but then my stop order. I told you I didn't want to hold this thing past 19, so that stop order fires off, and we did get out there. So I don't mean to be long at 35, but I'll take it. We were long 26 there on this name. So a good little, I guess it was 27 because we did take a 30 and a 25. So yeah, 27.50 there. And then we'll go long again. Look, Palantir had its day in the Hopefully it had its D-Day right there off earnings, believe it or not. Like, this was earnings, down in the pre-market, shot up. Obviously a pullback yesterday. We were caught long, but damage was done. But we learned our lesson a little bit there. It was way overextended. That was obvious, up almost 25% from that bottom. So now you have 1850. So that's, if that's not a bottom there, then yeah, I have to stay away. So we're gonna wait to see on this. And the reason why I call up a 20-minute chart here is I wanna go long 1950. Was the bottom here, was the top before we went down. And then yesterday, that's basically where all of this started, 1950. We started huge in the pre-market. We opened up around 1950 and then just crashed back down. So I like Palantir through 1950, but I love Palantir back to 1850. So, I mean, again, we'll go long now. It's a small position. We're not taking longs anymore. Well, we're taking longs, but we're not getting into too many shares pre-market anymore. We did that yet. We didn't do too many, but you get too excited, right? Like, if I have shares, then what winds up happening is I average down into like a death spiral, like what happened yesterday. So we're gonna wait on Palantir right now. If it breaks 819, we're out, and then we will wait patiently. We're not gonna average in all the way down and then get stopped out at 18. We'll wait until like 1860, 1870 to start building the long. So that's my game plan on Palantir today. You know, longs into 19, but not heavy. When it breaks, we gone, and then we'll wait for an 1850 break. I mean, I could go really light and hold it all the way back to 1850, but I just don't want to start the day off on the wrong foot in case this market does turn red.
All right, guys, one little one to have a look at. Bottom end of the watch list today, this Pali, P-A-L-I. If you look at the daily chart, there's not much before the 28th. That's because this thing was $70 or 72-ish dollars. It was a 6-for-1 stock split. Brought it all the way down here. So a little bit of positive news. Volume's huge on this today. It's worth noting. So definitely want to watch this. 687, some resistance already in the pre-market. Above that, that high was 740. What's 750 as well? A couple days ago was having trouble around 750, but this one already trying to roll over here. 680 back down to 660. We also had that wish. Sean was mentioning 10 even on wish, but I think it's more of a matter of when to short wish, not if. Neil.
I agree with you. I wish I had gotten into Wish earlier and waited on Pali. Now, I tried shorting this one off of that 680. I got out. And because of that 750 level that you mentioned there, Brendan, I kind of thought this is a run. And like, if it's going to make a move pre-market into that top, that's what I want to have. Of course, it rolls over right after I get out. So I'll wait until like a 930 potential push and try to play that to the south side on that name. And just because we just mentioned Wish, I'll go into it. And I said, whatever. I mean, you could wait for the low to break, but I mean, if it's below 1060, I'm probably going to be short this name today. And if it breaks 1060, I'm probably going to short it in front of 1150 today. And if it breaks 1150, well, we'll cross that bridge when we get to it. I've said it and you've said it, and I feel like this happened the last time we talked about Wish months ago in the chat. I'm not actually aware of anybody that is a gigantic fan of the platform. So it is what it is. I mean, it's not to speak ill will of anything. If this rips my face off, it's sort of worth noting. You look at this like previous bottom here at 11 even, and sort of think about like maybe that is a reasonable level. If you just wanted to sit there and be patient, if there was any buying in this name, go for it. I'm short right now at 1010, looking to hold that through a break of the low of the day. So I'm perfectly fine with that. The other position I have on, it's not on the watch list. The VTNR did report earnings. It's another one of those classic. Gap up, watch the price action situations. Maybe let's go to the 1 minute so you can see a little bit better here. Doing absolutely nothing off a breakdown at that 170 mark, right? So I was looking at this like 170 to 175. It then made a push to the upside. I'm like, okay, you want to hold 175? That's when I'll jam some more shares into it and then start taking off consolidation. Now, it's all the way back into the bottom end of that range. So the shorts I have left of those 71s, you're actually seeing me get filled here at that 170, 155. So this one's already a pretty nice one. But I just got it. Remember I said I was likely to get that Coinbase on the dip buy? Yeah, just got triggered in there, so 275, 77. I don't want to give that too much room, but if it comes down to 65, that's the one I want to give through the break. So got the Coinbase long, patiently waited for that to come one back in. Bit of a spread as it opens up, but I don't think VTNR I'll be too worried about given the price action so far.
Okay, I'm just getting. I'm getting some.
I don't like getting positions at this time.
Yeah, no, there's only a minute and a half right now, so the market's going to open. Hopefully the prices start to stabilize a bit, but we don't know what's going to happen off the open. I mean, I know there's a lot of people, I've been looking, reading, talking with a lot of people, and there's a lot of talk of sell-offs on any up move, right? So people want to take some profit here heading into the summer. There's a lot of reason to be light, a lot of names. So just be careful on any of these rips. I will be taking some breakdowns and some breakups as well, so hopefully we'll be able to get to go on this one. XPEV just put my orders at 24, 24.20, 24.70. Let's see if we get hit on a bid here a little bit heading into the open. There's the NASDAQ imbalances. Nothing.
Yeah,
go ahead. Yeah.
I was going to say, I just got hit on XPEV like my first leg in front of 25 quarters. I didn't really think that was going to come in so quickly. With only 40 seconds to go, a couple of longs already came in. If I get like $2 on Coinbase, I'll do it. And if at the open XPEV spikes into 25.70, I'll probably go ahead and take 50 cents on some of this. I do expect that it could dip further, and you want to be prepared to buy into that dip. I don't think I'm too worried about that wish, but interesting that some of those bids just started to come in with seconds to go. Sometimes it's an ominous sign, Sean.
I don't like it. No, but sometimes you get those great prices, right? I've had some sick prices off some of those, including some Square, which I should go back over to right now. Almost ready. There it is. 10 seconds. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6. It's coming down there, Valeria. 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's go, V. Here we go. So Palantir right now looking to break. Looking to break through. That's not Palantir. Here it is. Palantir looking to break through 19 right now. So let's see if that does happen. We are not going to hold this. We talked about that. We just got filled on the bid right now on Palantir. So let's see if this one wants to run.
Yeah, and that Pally, which of course I was thinking might give a bit of a push to the upside, immediately starting to flush in. I'm going to throw an offer to see if it can't get back up to that $7 range, but looks like that might have come and gone on me. I do look at Wish, and just to update the plan here, if it breaks the low of the day, I am going to add shares. I'm shorting more at the low of the day. For now, it's not doing anything, sitting basically in the money. Same thing with XPEV and Coinbase. Coinbase, I got that bounce here at 275, and then if it gives me a couple of bucks, I'll take that. Just got into Facebook on the break.
Yeah, oops, my enter button is, I don't think is working very good here, guys. Yeah, so here goes Palantir. Let's watch that one. Not really ripping. I hope your Coinbase is going, because right now I'm not seeing that much as far as what Palantir wants to do to the upside here. I do look at Square right now as well. Wow, that's all the way, it's not even open yet. What am I talking about? I was gonna say all the way down. So Square not open. Check out XPEV quickly. I'm only in Palantir. It's only 2 cents in the money. XPEG not open as well. A lot of stocks not open yet here, Neil.
Yeah, I mean, Coinbase just gave me the $2. Now it's at 280, so we'll give the stamp of approval, because the first thing I get my fingers on when I looked over. Quickly, it got some out of Facebook when it looked like it was going to reverse. Now, when I take a breakout, if the bid doesn't follow, I'm usually looking to scalp it out, and the bid wasn't following up. The second I took a fill for in front of 307.50, immediately it spiked up almost a full $1 in the upside here. So I just got Bumble as well. I am probably done for adding new positions, because I got a full board here. Facebook rallying to the upside. I'll show you Coinbase, because that was a good dip buy. It's heading right into the high of the day. Every time I do this style of trade on Coinbase, I'm getting out in front of the pre-market high or the next available $5 range. So it's not 85s, it'll be that pre-market high. You can always look for a breakout at 283. I wish it would break the low of the day. It's in the money, but come on. Really? I expected this. In the back of my mind, I was like, this is going to do a lemonade thing today, and I guess it's not really. It's going down, and I'm in the money. I just really thought this would die an absolute awful death.
Yeah, I'm waiting for Wish to break that bottom as well. What's up, Brendo?
Real quick, guys, Mara, the first one to pop up here, some of these crypto stocks. Big buy volume, you can see. Huge print there for some of these crypto stocks moving back to the upside.
Okay, so now we're into Wish right now, breaking that 989. So we put on a big position here. We'll see. There it is, bang! Nice little win there. I know you guys have it as well. So we'll go money signs right now for Wish. There it is to the downside. So we just took off a quarter there. It was only 7-penny winner, but we have a decent shot here on the shares. So let's see how far this one wants to fly to the downside. Out's going to be easy, man, 10-20. So right now we're wishing that Wish would keep going to the downside. Palantir, we did take some. Okay, that was a nice bid. We did take some out right there, 931s. So let's wait to see. Average price 20, so it's coming back to the downside. Look at the NASDAQ, man. There we go. Nice upward moves. I wonder if the sell-off continues here into these names. So we're going to watch this. We're going to check Square. We're going to check Alibaba as well in a couple minutes. But I got to look at this Wish position that's right now bouncing a little bit off of 80. So this is a good little level here, 77. Let's take some more off.
Yeah, I mean, I want to celebrate Bumble, and I'll get to that one in a second, because that short has been absolutely fantastic through 54. But it's this XPEV, and remember I said, you got to let it go through a level.
There
Well,
it
it's
is.
gone through 25. In previous close, it's just tried to hold. Now that it's made a bit of a bottom, it's like wait patiently. And sometimes you have a horrible initial entry point, but you wait for it to bounce. Hopefully the money's going to come into it. If there's going to be a loser, it feels like it's going to be this one. But I got to go over Bumble. I got a bunch of positions that came on. This is why we try to go over everything at the same time. I said if Bumble can't go up and what was solid earnings, what was making sense to me as a reopen play, then you got to hammer that low. When it broke 45.50, we went short, got 38s to the south side. It just broke 44s. I just took $1.50 on it. We're still hanging on to some shares here. So Bumble doing what Wish should be right now, in my humble estimation. If I had to pick between those two companies, it's not even a decision, but it's the Bumble short that's working.
Okay, so we are XPEV. We just took a nice win there, long 70 out O's, out 90s there. Now it's at O's, so we're going to go to the upside here on Wish. Hopefully it just continues to go, man. This is right now is a 30-cent win.
Oh.
Look, 30-cent win on a $25 stock, probably worth taking a little bit of this. We took some Wish out at 77 as well. What's up, Beep?
Speaking of reopening ideas, Uber ripping, guys, already 2.75%, just breaking $45 once again for Uber.
Yeah, we like Uber for sure.
catch 'em all.
Palantir's just dancing. It's not doing anything, so I'm a little bit pissed off about that one. Not pissed off. I don't care. It's not a heavy position. We talked about that. We did take some profit out. Here comes Alibaba screaming at 215, guys. I love a 215 break, so we'll wait to see on Alibaba. Thank you, Ms. V, for that refill. 213 right here on Alibaba. A good long if we can get that, but I'm looking at a 215 breaker 19. Can you hear me? We're going to see if that can go up to the upside right now going through, so we'll wait on that. And then Palantir probably going to get flushed out here, breaking through 19 now.
Yeah, and going to try to buy the dip. Got a scalp out on Facebook. Going to try to buy the dip as it just got back to 306. Did I get it? I actually just missed it there. So 7 long, about $1 out of the money, actually 60, 70 cents out of the money. I tried to buy a dip there. But we're going back to Pally. I said I'd sell it, just try to get an offer in there at 75, so it actually got exactly 75. It breaks this low, got some out at 630, so a nice little win. I'm shorting the pops on Pally every chance I get, probably into 55 to 60 at first, and then we'll see where it does happen to go after that. The other one, VTNR, and I'm going to try to go over all these. No problems whatsoever here. This one is flushing itself down the toilet. That was a relatively easy short. XPEV, we definitely gave it some room. I haven't taken anything out here, Sean, because I kind of feel like it's still making its bottom. If I'm wrong about that, then I think I'm going to have a loser on an XPEV, but I think it's trying to make a bottom, and you have to let it maybe matriculate below this 25 before we actually get into more shares and then start taking a north side of that 25 even. We started with Wish. We'll probably hopefully end the day with Wish. I just got my first bid at 975 there. I was shorting in the 10s. The breakdown was, of course, at 985. I'm staying net short. I'll take some out in front of 950. I'll probably short every single pop into like at least 1025 before considering covering anything for a loss.
Yeah, we were lucky enough to get XPEV at a little bit of a better price there, 24.70, just trying to bottom pick, and we talked about that. So I actually got out another. I mean, we're just gonna go. We'll go dap up there because that's a good win there. That's 60 cents on Wish. So on XPEV. So we already took that. We took that low bid out of 2/3 of this trade. So profitable one to go. So we don't have anything to worry about right now with XPEV, but we do have that 24 break on the downside. I just got to make sure that we have that written down there on that. So XPEV, we're still going to go long a little bit, and then if it does break back down, yeah, we're going to get out. I just have to make sure. Actually, I don't have the downside protection listed yet, so that's going to be a good one there. I don't know if Alibaba, I guess it does not take that 215. I guess we write that level down. Oh, it's right here, right now.
Did it break the low?
Oh, no, I did get long. No, I got long. Sorry, 215 there. I was surprised. Oh, man, that went in the money, 50 cents. Okay, I didn't even notice that. I was looking at everything else. Okay, so Alibaba, we're long right now at 215. That's the trade that we like, man. I thought that earnings report wasn't horrible, but also wasn't great. We already knew about that hit that they were taking. I thought the market overstated that. So let's wait to see on Alibaba. Only holding it back to 213.50, though, guys. Not going to take more than a $1.50 hit on this one. 213.50 backside right there on Alibaba. If it wants to go down, it's going to go, and I don't want to be a part of it. So 213.50, we're gone, but I'm holding it for the upside.
Yeah, and speaking of Bumble here, just look, there's not going to be any levels to work with. I mean, there's 42.50, if only because that's the current low, and there's 40 even. right? So, I mean, that's what you got to think about. Here's XPEB trying to break that 24.50. That's interesting. It just broke 24.50 and now trying to hold that level. So I'm going to make my last stand here, risk about like 40 pennies or so, 10 cents below that 24.50 range. But Bumble, I'm going to try to hold it through a 42.50 break down into that 41 range or so, just in case this is the lemonade of the day. I really thought it would be Wish, but apparently it's Bumble. Brendan?
Yeah, speaking of lemonade, starting to look a little weak itself. Travel names, guys, not so much. MGM just popped up here on a volume scanner, big volume through to 38. It looks like a big level. But a lot of these daily charts looking like this, these things bouncing off of significant support. MGM moving, guys.
All right, I'm just looking at. I'm trying to watch Baba here. I almost got like crushed out of that one, like almost instantly there. So yeah, not really loving this. There it goes. There, we just got out of it. So Alibaba there will go down the drain on that one. We thought 215 had a chance, and apparently we were dead wrong. So no chance for 215 there. It tried to go. It looks like that was going to be the high of the day. So yeah, that's good. We just made that high on Alibaba. I still think there's a buying opportunity on this name. Just got to find it, and we're not going to lay down for it, right? So again. We did this yesterday with Palantir. We kept chasing, and we need to dump Palantir today as well so that we don't have to worry about some of the downside, right? So there is going to be downside in a lot of these names, and you just got to be careful that you don't get caught in them, right? So we just got out of Palantir. I like to load this up at 1850 if we get a chance, guys.
Yeah, and I gave up on XPEB. It's like you said, right? Like you have a level, you have that bob, you try to pick it. And if it doesn't go, it doesn't go. I had 82s. When it broke that 40, I'm going to be out of it. And it's the same thing with Facebook. I mean, when I saw the bid not follow up, I'm like, okay, scalp a little bit out, try to buy the dip, try to buy the dip, get it back in here at essentially 06s or so. And if you can't hold this 05, I'll just hunt for a better price. I mean, I don't want to dig in too deep on this Facebook. I'm not going to add any more times here. If it gets back up to that 07 range, I think taking some profit off up there is going to make some sense in front of that 7, and then I still maintain, I have an offer here to wait 50, and I probably put one at that high of the day, 307.50 as well. We do have, I'm holding on to that Bumble, of course, but I still have that small cap VTNR. This is just like, it is what it is. Like, I'm going to continue to get these shares out, but ultimate target, I should have said this, it closed at 138. It's a bit of a, it's kind of close. It's like 10 cents away. I'll be flat if this breaks this 150 bid and gets to that 140 top or that 138 previous close. I'll be all out of this one. Whenever you get that kind of a target, I think you have to take it on a penny stock. I mean, it's $1.50, but it's a penny stock. Let's be realistic about it.
Yeah, exactly. Penny stocks are what they are for a reason sometimes, guys. So be very, very careful if you are trading any penny stocks here. We're watching this Palantir. Wow, we'll go to Brendan. What's up, Brendan?
Wow, huge flush here, guys, on Vroom, VRM. We mentioned briefly there, earnings name in the aftermarket yesterday. This thing's just getting crushed. 41, a bit of a level. We're at 36.5, straight southbound for Vroom.
Okay. Wow. I wonder what was up with that one. Check back in on Wish right now. 989. So, oops, I canceled that. 989. So we've just been getting out here again on Wish. Good trade for me. Short 990. I know the guys were short earlier, so good one. Now back down to the day's low. You may want to consider taking some out. We missed our Palantir bids, man. We were actually waiting at 75 and didn't get it. It went to 77 there on the low. So I don't want to average into this name, but sorry, I'm holding some now just to watch it. We're out basically of Palantir for the loss, so we've already flushed ourselves down the toilet for that one. But we are going to wait. Maybe I'm going to pick some up. Maybe I'll just pick up a baby spot right here. So we'll just take a little bit bid there at 83, 82 there, and then we'll watch to see where it goes from there. But there goes Wish downside as well. Alibaba trying to maybe catch a bid. Let's go longer 212 if we get that, and then we'll wait to see if it breaks that 211.50. But see if we can't pick up. I don't know. See, again, I'm not going to get caught averaging in. So we'll find some shorts right now. Wish, wow. I hope you guys still have some of this.
All I got left is my shorts because Facebook just went out. So Facebook, XPEB, both unsuccessful. Every short has been good. The only long that worked out, guys, sorry, I'm looking at Lemonade here because it just turned, it's positive on the session. So go figure. When these guys put these short sell reports on, you know what, we'll talk a little bit about that later because the timing of those is always pretty hilarious. They always find those bottoms and then they snap back. But anyways, Coinbase was the only long that worked out, and it's coming right back into that 275 level. So usually when I play this retracement, I get in too early. You're going to see I have not bought VWAP this time. I'm not buying anything except for, again, in front of 75s. And if that breaks, you know I love that level down around that 265 area. Things get absolutely crazy. I'm not anticipating that's going to happen. Let's be honest about it here. I still think Coinbase is going to be a solid one here, but I'm going to get my bid ready, locked and loaded, only defending that same level that we had before.
Yep, so Wish is making wishes come true today to the downside. So a nice little move there. Okay, XPEV, there's the average price. So we got to get out of this one if it does break through 24. So we do have that average price on right now. We're going to put in a 24 break price on that one. If it does go back out, we're going to get out of that. Let's see, we'll take a piece out near 50. Do I have XPEV up for you? Yeah, I do. So there's that bid. We talked about it. We've been lucky to basically get bottom bids and then be able to get them out. So we'll see if that can hold again here, true on XPEV. So far, the only stock really, Alibaba, the stock that we've been wrong on here today, down to 1350. So we'll wait to see if it wants to get going back again. I don't mind a 215 break if it happens again, but right now I'm more concerned about XPEV, Wish, and Palantir, guys.
Brendo?
Yeah, the selling the earnings trend continuing there. Apple, guys, we had the big tech names on watch this morning. This quickly got above resistance there at 124. Nice move so far for Apple among the leaders in that group.
I mean, yeah, selling the earnings is, to me, selling off this Bumble, which, Bumble just had a bounce off of 41.50. Now, I was sort of looking at that 40 and getting up maybe at like 41s or so, but you got to pick your poison. I'm going to get out of this trade once it tries to bounce off that even number 41.50. I don't have a crystal ball. It's gates of hell. I'll be one of the first people to say I kind of thought that if it was a positive response to the earnings here, I kind of wanted to be going to the long side in this trade, and maybe I'm going to be finding a bottom here for Bumble, but that was a heck of a sell-off through that low, that 45.50. If you can't get up on solid earnings, you know what happens. You get beat down. It's just time and time again we're seeing this, and you got to be able to take advantage of it. You mentioned there on Wish, and it was a great call because I'm sitting here thinking, I'm talking Sean, by the way. I'm sitting here thinking, okay, I'm not bidding till that 950, and then Sean was like, yeah, you might want to get some more shares out because it consolidated at 75 again. It's consolidating at 60, 65. It just keeps slowing down. So maybe it has to do with the fact that my daily chart is. Maybe it has to do with the fact that this is one of the uglier looking charts. I can only show my 15 because the daily for some reason isn't going back. But, I mean, it's so far beaten up. Is that the reason that it's not flushing further? I mean, I said it, and I thought this stock was probably at $14 or $15 because I hadn't looked at it in a while. So I was a little bit shocked myself to see it was down to 10. Either way, it's a sell all day. Well, it's all day today for me. It's going to be a sell. I don't know what it would take to get me bullish on it, to be perfectly honest with you, to take a long trade. Pally, that's the one that wiped me out in the morning. I got back into it. It's doing absolutely nothing. It just bounced off of this level here, which is $6, not insignificant whatsoever. So I want to hang on to this just in case I can get a short, but 650s is too far to wait. I'll look back to like the 35, 40 range. Brendan?
Just clearing my data on my charts, guys, but still, yeah, my daily chart not functioning. But let's talk about AMC. A lot of people had this one on watch this morning in the pre-market. I mean, the reopening idea continuing, but just blasted through 1150 there for AMC ripping, guys.
Yeah, I was just saying, what the hell's going on with AMC there? A big mover for sure, AMC. Okay, so Palantir, well, there we go. We'll do a little bit of a walk there because we did say that we were starting a small position. I mean, it would be a much bigger celebration if we actually took decent shares there, but we'll get them out back through VWAP. That's our first out there. Spikes up. We take that momentum to get out. I told you that I think that was a smart play today. Taking momentum, guys, and playing it if you can get out of some of your longs. We talked about that over and over and over again. So hopefully there's a little bit of out there for Palantir. We'll go back long again down here, but we're going to wait to that 1850. So I'd like to load up. You're going to see me load up in the 60s if that does come through. So that's Palantir right there. Wish, yeah, good. Look at this move. Just took a move downside. So we still got some on. We're going to take another piece off right now. What a good trade this has been. One of the #1 trades for us today. Wish is my best trade today.
We all hate
yeah.
It's I'm telling you, man. Like everybody, I'm still waiting for the first person with something good to say about Wish and the platform. And again, you shouldn't trade anecdotally. This is a bit of a pullback here, obviously, you can see in the chart happening in AMC. It's a sharp one. Look at it absolutely flushing off an 1160 top. So a bit of a pump, but pre-market high was at 1110. I was about to say if there was a rubber band play, it would have been like a quick, sharp bounce back for a scalp. It probably would have been for me at like 1112. It looks like it bounced at 1115. So that's not going to be on the card. I was about to go put it on and then saw it bounce like 4 or 5 cents away from it. But that was a sharp pullback in. Whenever it's that big, you look for that quick snap back if you can catch a bottom. I was just looking at the previous pre-market high at 1110.
Yeah, no, yeah, that Wish. Again, I don't know. I haven't shopped on there, and I don't want to say anything bad. People probably have their money invested there, and they know a hell of a lot more than probably you and I.
Yeah,
Neil,
for sure they do.
We just know what we experience, right? They have hilarious ads. Someone just said that as well, that they like to make fun of some of the ads that Wish puts up. And yeah, so as far as that is concerned, yeah, maybe some faultiness there in that stock. So we'll wait to see. It's cracking through 950 right now. Wow, what a disaster Wish is there today, and people maybe wishing they're not invested in it. But we'll wait to see where it goes. So that is Wish right now to the downside. Alibaba still moving down. Nothing really happening. We are looking to get more not more. We don't have any right now, but looking to get some Palantir in. It just dipped again. Where's my bids, man? My bid's at 75 again. Like, what the hell's going on? So now hopefully it comes crashing down and we'll get filled. And you'll be able to see that I'm honest here at least. I do have a bid at 75. Let's see, give me the 75 fill. There it is. So there you go. So there's the 75 fill. You see, I didn't even have my hands on the keyboard there. So there's the fill. Now we'll wait for the downside, and then we're going to get out, guys, if it breaks through 1850. I think this is a good opportunity now to buy. But again, opportunities sometimes come and go. So we'll wait on this one. Going to load this up. 1850 is my out on Palantir. If it cracks that, then we're gone on anything. But I don't have enough shares now to be worried. We're going to be loading up in the 60s, guys. Palantir.
There you go. Look, we talked about Boeing. I mean, waiting for maybe the news. Look, the news came through and there was no reaction to it. And then all of a sudden it's like, boom, there goes Boeing through that top. I mean, you wait around for an opportunity to buy something you like, and this is usually what happens to you. You get that move. We've already gone like $4 or $5 here, so Boeing is on the march. Check out this like 227 where we are now, up into 230. I'm expecting it to probably slow down into this range, maybe give a chance to buy the dip. So I'm looking back into this 223 area. If that can hold up, it's a different story buying a dip on a move like this in Boeing, as opposed to obviously like an AMC, where I want to be very particular about it because that might fall a little bit faster, just given the type of momentum. But it seems like the money is a little bit late coming into Boeing, but here it is anyways.
Yep, exactly. Look, we can't predict where stocks are going. We can just give you where we think they're going to go. And yeah, Boeing, good call there. Hopefully a little bit lower. What's up, Ms. V?
Hey, Sean, AMC is all over the chat. Besides that, traders talk about Churchill Capital. CCIV is up more than 4%, guys.
Churchill, eh? Yeah, I'm staying away from everything EV, and I'll talk about that in a minute for you as well. Right now, Palantir, nice little bump back to the upside right now. So there's that fill that we took, guys. We talked about that, and I talked about also getting out on any bumps up. So there it is again. So we'll just keep doing this, man. This is how I trade Palantir. You guys know that. I love the scalp game on this name, so I don't like holding it. Whenever I do, it's like I just get crushed. So there's Palantir. We're going to get out of that one right now at 19. Sorry, that's its 20-cent win almost. No, 18 cents right there. And then we have an offer at 95 as well. We'll load back up on Palantir if it does come back. XPeng does break there, but again, look at that bottom wick of the day. Thank you very much. My name's Sean Katina. I make bottom wick. Now let's wait to see. I'm going to go back long now to get this money back. So we're basically flat on XPeng, but that's a piss off right there because that's like a 30-cent hit that we didn't need to take. We were long right here at 20, so I guess not even 20 cents exactly. It breaks down, guys. It breaks $24 by 3 cents. There. So unfortunately, that's the out. You got to be disciplined. Normally, I call it a little bit lower, so I'm not sure why I use 24 even there as the out. The low of the day, 23.97. I should still be in this one. That's my bad on the order entry, guys.
Look, it's going to happen, and that's the thing. We'll keep it real, guys. It's like you make keystroke errors. You might make a quick little misread of the chart. It is what it is. I feel like I made a bit of a mistake here on Pally, and obviously it's still going to come to the downside. But I got in, and I always say, try to get in on the downside. This time I was like, oh, I don't want to miss it if it makes that little pull back to the upside. So I get like 60, I get like 630, like 32 to be able to add in. And then I don't get anything when it pops right to that price that you really want at 650. So we just came back down. I got some 16s out. I've only gone short. I lost in the pre-market. We're able to get that back with 675. And I'm trying to get short in front of VWAP as much as I can, but you got to look at this 6 holding. I'll take profit in front of 6. I'll try to rinse and repeat in the 40 to 50 range. But if it keeps bouncing off 6 even, at some point, it tries to break the backs of the shorts. And of course, that will be breaking out off that 6 level. Brendan, what do you got, bud?
One that was crazy over the past couple of days, this IHT just trying to bounce here off 750, a little real estate stock, guys, trying to go. Remember, this is the one that goes crazy and halts, just so be careful. A little bit thin, but 40% again for IHT.
Ooh, wow, IHT. Oh, yeah, we had that MDR the other day. People were talking about that name. So MDR, another name to be on the watch as well. So watch out for MDR. MDRR it was. Let's just check in on that. We got a super chat on that the other day. I'm just interested in it because it was similar to that IHT, a REIT that was way oversold. And I'm just, sold off, but a high short interest on MDR. Okay, so there you go, up 8.33%. Not bad for MDRR. Only bringing that up because it was interesting. It's similar to that IHT. So we'll wait on that one. But here's Palantir, back to, I didn't get a 95 fill there, did I? Oops, that's still MDRR. Let's go over to the 1 minute. No, I did, oh good, I did get the 95. So there it is. So a nice little win again on Palantir. So there's Whitney Wolf there coming up on Bumble, Neil. So if you're still short there, she's gonna be up.
I covered, man.
Okay, good.
Because I don't know how far it's gonna go down, and honestly, I had better feels about that stock going into today than I did about Lemonade, so I can't really hang on to it. I can't believe no one's done this. We'll walk on a little bit of water here, but how has nobody dropped? I wish I was a little bit taller. I wish I was a baller. I wish I had more shares short of Wish. I don't know. I can't make that rhyme, but I wish I had more shares short of Wish. And we talked about this all morning long, and it's not necessarily to pound the table, but it kind of is. Like, it's one of those things where I just can't think of anybody that would be incredibly bullish about buying the stock today. And if that's your overall sentiment, you can't find a reason to do so. Then either you just don't go long, or you find a way to go short. And that's the thing here. And it might bounce, and that 950 is now held, but I'm probably going to still be looking at the 75 to 85 range for a bit of a reload. And that's kind of just the feels I have for it. I want to get back into Pally if I can, but Coinbase is going to be, I think, the next trade. Here's what I don't love about this. Now, I still like that 265. I don't love the fact that I'm sitting beneath this floor here, this like 276. Right, it's bounced a couple of times off 76, so either I'd already be long off the 76, the higher low that it puts in, or I almost want it to break. I want it to break down, maybe even break that 75 and then test me back in. So if that's going to be the look, the next trade is going to be long off of 76 for me, maybe like 77 and change, or 77 even if I can get it. Risk about $1, and if that breaks, have 2 cracks at it off of a failed 75 break, or give me my 265s at some point. I guess I'm not rooting that hard because I don't really want Coinbase to go down $10, but I like that level a heck of a lot better than the one I'm playing, even though we already won off of it.
Yeah, Coinbase, good call there. I mean, we're loving some Coinbase, and I just haven't looked at it lately. I should be on it for sure. Okay, XPEV, a little dance with the devil here in the pale moonlight, because we did take another bid there, low side, double the bids there. And this is the thing, look guys, we learn from our mistakes around here, because there it is, man, 23,898. It dips below 24 again. This was not a keystroke error. There was nothing wrong with this execution. It's just, I didn't give it enough room. So we learn, and now we have a beautiful winner on XPEV, up now again. We're putting ourselves right back into the money on this name, and let's not just celebrate it. Let's get some out. There it is, another out at 36. So bang, 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 bang to the upside. Sometimes we learn from our mistakes around here, guys. What's up, Brendan?
Just noting, headline on Bumble here. I just wanted to mention, guys, but I saw the semiconductor ETF popping up on volume, so some of the semiconductors starting to go. I will show you this, though. The initial IPO price, so not the price that it opened at, but the initial IPO price here for Bumble, 43, just got broken. So a heads up at 43 could be significant there.
There's probably zero excuse for me trading Bumble to the short side and actually not knowing that, and that's one of the reasons why Brendan is the absolute man. And apologies, I'm just fixing my my little Windows feature. Anyways, but I should have known that, obviously. I did turn around off that the first time, but I want to throw a level out here. I mean, I was probably looking the same thing as you, Sean, but Square is getting to that 210.
Is it?
So it just touched 209.94 before reversing. So this is now pre-market, and then again here, just 30 minutes into the open, touching off that level. You almost, for a breakout, you almost want it to like bounce back down, hold like 08s, consolidate a little bit, and then make a push to the upside. NASDAQ's 1.2, ES is 1 to the upside. I mean, I know I'm sitting here basically all short, right? And it is what it is. Like, those are some of the trades that worked. Coinbase was a good one. I think Square should be fine as well. The other end of that coin, pun intended, was Silvergate. Now, obviously, distracted for some other things, but yeah, it did touch that 100 mark. There really hasn't been a big pullback in sight yet, so that one's off to the race. So kind of might have missed the boat on that one. Don't want to miss that Square. And I did miss the boat on Coinbase. I mean, you saw me, and you probably saw me put the bid in there live. It's like, if I crossed the spread, I probably would be long at 277.50. Instead, I'm bidding in front of 277. So once again, I'm thwarted by this weird obsessive habit, I don't know what it, well, I know exactly what it is, putting a passive order in front of a price and trying to get it instead of just crossing spread and taking it on Coinbase. Of course, it's a mistake on Coinbase. It's okay on small caps, right? Like, you don't care, but if it's like his VNT or VTNR, which is a $1 stock, yeah, okay, sit passively. But on Coinbase, I should have punched in. I'd be long. I would have had that $5 winner, but I don't, and that's the mistake. Should have been aggressive when I was passive.
A little bit of this happening right now. Got a little bit of diamond hand action going on here. Palantir, 40 cents in the money. That's diamond hands for me, you guys. We still have a third of this position, or sorry, quarter of this position left. 25, 50, 75, quarter. So we have a quarter left on Palantir. Wish, 25 cents. That was a good diamond hander there, all the way down to 9.55. That's pretty good. And then this is the biggest one here for me, XPEV, because like it just comes up to VWAP. We get out again, and now we're holding on small percentage. I guess it's not small. It's a quarter. Again, 25, 50, 75 out. And we do the same thing, right? Like out before 50, out before VWAP, and then out right there before 25. So a nice little runner here. 50 cents, 40 cents, 20 cents right now on XPEV. You're going to see. So Valeria's going to help me out here, but like this is what happens sometimes. Like my keyboard, I've been hitting the enter button a little bit too much here, and now I don't think it works. So I have to use the other one, and a lot of this is muscle memory. So thank you, Valeria, but right now, not right now. I will get that from you in a minute. Second. Yeah.
Sorry.
Yeah, don't worry about it. Okay, thanks, Valeria. I'll take that.
Oh my goodness, Virgin.
Thank you so much. I need to trade. Thank you.
I'm going to be frustrated by Virgin Galactic because that's a V-shaped recovery, if you want to call it. And look at that price. If you guys watched the afternoon show, we were talking about Virgin Galactic, and if you weren't, then I'll let you know here. Or we're talking about this trying to hold and break out from 16. What is this nonsense? At 16.25, usually I'm all over these iceberg levels in the pre-market because that spells breakout. That's exactly what happened. It dips through it, holds 16 on a dime, and then double tops at 75s. And look at what 75 is, guys. It's the afternoon 1 o'clock top. It's this breakout point at 11 o'clock that we're looking at. I mean, all of these levels are so obvious, and I wasn't even watching Virgin Galactic. That's ridiculous. I'm going to rectify that one by doing two things. Long through 16.75, but first I have to short it. You know how I roll. Brendan's ready now, because it's 10 o'clock already, for happening now. Let's get to him.
It is, in fact, 10 o'clock. Let's have a look at how things are shaping up so far. Nicely positive bounce back day right across the board. The entire board here, nicely positive, led by the NASDAQ composite there. You can see 1.4 to the upside. Russell, small caps, having a nice day as well, 1.39 in positive territory. There's the NASDAQ 100. S&P, 1.18 in positive territory. The Dow, the same. BOVESPA, down in Brazil, having a nice day, 0.6. Even here in Toronto, 0.4 to the upside. So a nice rebound after the flush we got yesterday. Let's have a look at a couple of things we were discussing in the pre-market. We had the crypto stocks on watch this morning. This has been as choppy as it gets. This is 24 at the bottom, 26 at the top. So riot here. Mara looks exactly the same, just kind of chopping around in a $2 range there. So heads up on some of those. Sonos, it was hard to ignore this move that happened after market yesterday. But yeah, again, big flush at the open here. A lot of charts looking like a bit of a V bottom this morning so far, but it's struggling here at 35, basically where we started the session, guys, for Sonos.
Like, it's crazy because that's exactly the same V bottom that I was just looking at on Virgin Galactic that just got me to reverse into a long position. So I got Virgin Galactic at 78 here, the long side. I'm looking at Sonos when you called it, and it's the same thing. Now, I said I was only going to be bullish if it was above that 36, but you get that kind of a wipeout. If we can hold and maybe break out here, I'd like 35.30. Now, I'm not going to put on too many of these at the same time. It's exactly the same setup that I got in Virgin Galactic, as that one starts to go to the upside. So I'd almost prefer that this dip down into 34, give you a little bit of a test or a consolidation. The same thing, same way I think Square is going to do it, just to update the positions. This one just, and again, it wasn't on the watch list, but I brought it up and I try to tell you guys these. When there's going to be one of those like small caps and it looks like the easier type of short, and none of these are ever easy, but there's just no strength in the stock, not a lot of buy support when it gaps to the upside, not a ton of bid support every time it flushes. I want to be all over these when I can, so it's down towards that 138 close. I'll be all flat. If this gives everything back on a gap up into earnings when it got as high as $1.88, you got to be happy with it. It's 72 short. You get even better than that 10% return, which is what you should be. I mean, I don't know. I shouldn't say what you should be. What I'm usually looking for on one of these small cap names. If you get that, you got to start thinking. If you haven't taken profit at that, you have to be. Virgin Galactic, I said, of course, because I have to, or I had to. I did short it first and then reverse on that 75 anytime I see a level like that. Looks like it only wants to give an initial like 10-cent scalp. If that's going to be the case, I don't mind. I'll take some off in front of that, and I'll take some off in front of 17 even, and then just see how far it can go. It's been pretty beaten up, so there is some room on Virgin here to get back in at least like a 1750 area. So I don't want to discount what kind of move it can put in. I'm not nearly as bullish as I would be on a breakout in Square, obviously. But we're going to take that Virgin Galactic anytime I see that for sure. And we'll scalp a little bit. We'll take some off at 25. We'll take some off around 40. Around that 40 to 50 area. And then maybe you can hang on to some if you think it's getting to 18. I'm unlikely to do so, though.
So here we go. Yeah, good little mover here, hopefully anyways. Just out of Palantir there at 25. So I shouldn't say a good one. It was a good one there on PLTR. So really happy with some of the movements that we're seeing on this name. So Palantir up to 27. Nice battle back. We talked about that this stock was left for dead, obviously, and I think that was a mistake. So let's wait to see what Palantir has in store for all of us here on the upside. I'm still looking at that 1950 break, guys. You know, not necessarily a fanboy of Palantir. I just like what it has to offer us on the upside. So there's Palantir, but we just did get out of it. So I'm in love with it, but again, you know, trying to just to play some of these bounces, right? So we got caught, not caught, we got caught going long there, out where we said we would get out, and then we reversed that long, out, and then this long again, boom, 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 back to the upside. So the market moving around a little bit here, which we like. Look at that big move upside. 85 cents as well in the money on XPeng. We learned from our lesson there. We get stopped out there, but then we say no and get right back in and take that money right back. Now bouncing around 25. I'm going to get out if we break below 70. So giving that one a little bit of room to run here. That's XPeng, giving it some room. Let's see if it takes out that 25 level. I don't see why it doesn't. It's hovering around there. I've liked 25. It was one of the levels that we wrote down 27. So if we like 27, we got to like 25.
Right. I mean, that's sort of the thing. Like, if you like a stock in a certain direction, sometimes it just behooves you to go only that way. It's not to say that I would never go long on Pally today, but you know, it's worked out so far except for that pre-market short. And you know, you get back in. Whenever I get stopped out and then it has no follow through, usually at 9:30 I'm trying to play off of the same level, and that's what's happened. Now I'm just sort of looking around the 650 in VWAP, and it's powering in here. I was able to get some out here in the 20s, and then we got that reshort at 30 in the 30s, and able to get some of that out in the teens. I just got back in here in front of that VWAP, so either it flushes back in and I can get some more shares off of that $6, or we could be looking at a situation where I'm going to be all out at 650 or just above that, and then looking to get back at like a $7 range. Virgin Galactic only gave me so far just that initial, like 10-cent move. So immediate consolidation off the top and just no secondary breakout. A little bit concerning on a name that I usually tend to be bearish on. Well, I've recently been bearish on, I should say, not usually tend to be, but recently been pretty bearish on. So it's on my radar. I don't want this to crack back below like 60s. I don't want to give too much back on it, especially because I'm not the biggest believer in the short term. I was kind of thinking you could wait to buy this name. I could be wrong about that. Got the long here, but it's a breakout long, not one of those like I'm buying on the dips, I'm buying at every single price. Brendo?
I mentioned some of the hotels popping up right off the bat as strong today. Here's Love as well, guys. Southwest just ripping to the upside. We're back into some of these levels over here on the daily chart, but 60 broke. Didn't even look back to say hi again to 60. So big volume again on some of the travel names. I want to show you this real quick. They just said their Boeing 737 MAX repairs will take about 3 weeks. So that's not bad.
3 weeks? That seems like okay. I don't mind the 3 week time frame. We like Boeing for a longer term play. So for right now, we'll hold off on some Boeing love, but we do love it. And I just got to wait for that name to maybe pull back a little bit there. Boeing Palantir good out maybe at 25, looking to retrace back here. We do have NASDAQ highs. We have Palantir high here at 35. Maybe worth a short back in right now on PLTR. So I don't normally say this, but I'm going to take a short now on Palantir back down through, hopefully here. Yeah, I don't know if I've had a stroke.
Yeah, we're screwed now.
But I did have.
It's over. I'm getting out of here.
But
I gotta go home. I gotta kiss my wife. I gotta say goodbye to my daughter. Like, Don's going short in Palantir. I can't even say the word I want to think about it, but it begins with an F. What? Really? Okay.
Yeah. No, yesterday I played Palantir like a fiddle, or not yesterday, the day before, on that move up. We were nicely short. So, okay, so now we're going short again. So now we're short Palantir. I know there must be something wrong with me. I did put an offer at 29. I thought I got that fill, and I didn't. So now we'll wait for it again. We are offering 29s here on Palantir. So we'll wait to see the high of the day, 35. It's not going to be a heavy position and just trying to scalp this back. If we can get back to VWAP, we know on a NASDAQ bounce, downside, I guess, a tumble, that this does have the ability to go down. So we'll test it here on Palantir. Looks like I'll be wrong, which I'm pretty happy about being wrong at least. But yeah, 1940.
Sean, you short Pally, not Palantir, right?
Yes,
like
yes, going back to Pally.
Short this thing, not Palantir. Anyways, no, I'm half kidding about it, but look, realistically, you have to be able to trade in both directions, right? Like you've seen me go long and short in Virgin Galactic. You've seen me say I was looking for a place to pick up lemonade and go short it. You have to be flexible, especially in a market like this. I'm a little bit surprised. I got one long and it's a space breakout. With the market moving up, I'm sitting here like I got the order, and I'm sure you do too, Sean. Well, like what is going on with Square? Like really? This is just like okay, 0994, 0977, 0977. I mean, where's the breakout, right? Like, how is this not participating in the move, right? It's got to go. I mean, I think the break's going to be good, but it's just consolidating. I guess I wanted it to consolidate up here, but I keep looking back at the ES and the NASDAQ and then saying to myself, where is Square? And why is it not breaking out? Maybe it's coiling up and it's going to be extra good, or maybe it's a bit of a trap. So I'm not sure what's going to be. I can tell you we show the good and the bad. This will be come on, load Facebook. I'm trying to show a bad, here we go. There's Facebook, this is the break, this is all it gave you. I tried to load back in, it's a loser. Thankfully we got out. It can't break through towards some of the highs. So make a note at what is and is not participating in these moves to the upside in the broad market. Brendan?
Another one that reported, guys, Coupang, we noted right before the open there, $36 was a bit of a level yesterday afternoon. This is pre-market, so was trying in the pre-market, completely fell apart as soon as the market opened. We're down to 33 now for Coupang, guys.
Oh, yeah, Coupang.
Yeah, I hate Coupang.
I forgot about that thing.
Yeah, I didn't trade that well on its IPO. I remember that day quite clearly there. We were in a meeting and I got filled and I was like, oh, that's going to be good. And then I came back and it was horrible. So thank you, Coupang, for teaching me a lesson not to put orders out while we are in a meeting. That was Coupang, the stock that I hate. Okay, I'll trade it. I don't care. This is funny. Okay, so Palantir here. Let's see if the dream can come true on the short side now. Whoops, that's a wish. There's Palantir there. We are short at 25. I don't know. We'll see about taking some out. There's a 22 out there. So again, we're not trying to be too nimble with this position because obviously it's Palantir. So Neil just thought, like we all thought maybe we were having a seizure going short on Palantir, but let's wait to see if it does cash out. And again, like Neil mentioned, man, it's all about price action. So if we can get that, then we'll take it every day and make the right trade. So there it is again, short 26, just took a 20 bid. Things going well on the short side for Palantir right now, guys.
Yeah, and I just want to go back to this, if only because I'm seeing a setup here in that Pally where if it breaks 6 even, I'm very likely to take a new trade. And I just look at that floor every time here, and if it makes a bit of a breakdown, I'd like to take some shares on that break. And I'm going to have a little bit left on, I think, if it does get to that price level, but only like 10% or so. So Pally, I'll take it through 6. It's been pretty good just shorting on every single pop, but I want to add to the repertoire just going on a break of 6 even. We'll see what happens. I'm not sure it's going to scream into that level. It's been somewhat calm, except for the moves back into VWAP. It's had a few spikes in there, which have gotten not violent, but a little bit more rapid. The concerning trade, it's weird because the market's going to the upside, is going to be, of course, that Virgin Galactic. And it's just no fault whatsoever. Just got Square. So Square does finally go to the upside, but this Virgin Galactic needs to start participating as well. Otherwise, I'm going to have to give up on it. It has not been easily, look, it hasn't been the strongest stock, but I see a move like that where it gives you that breakout, gives that pullback, holds 16 on a dime. You kind of think the floodgates could open upside on something which has been so beaten up. And 18 does loom as resistance. Finally, Square goes. This should be a good one. I mean, I can't see any way this doesn't fly. I mean, it would be crazy if it didn't. Space, a little unsure about, but so far so good.
Yeah, 208, probably 47 or so on Square. If we can get out of some of that one, we will. On the downside, of course, we are watching Square. We're in it as well. Square was one of the big spots that I liked through 210. It does rip up there. How high did we get there on Square? We got to
40.
42. My offer's at 45, so there you go. So that's a good one. Just got missed on a third out. I was going to take that 40 cents there. Well, it would have only been 30 cents, so I was going to take that. Here we go. We're going to have another opportunity. We're not scared of Square. There it is. Where's my out? There it is. Bang. Nice out right there. We're going to hold for a little bit more now. So now we're out of a quarter on Square. And again, check out the sticky note, guys, today. That's one of the #1 stocks right in the middle. Square 210 break, as well as XPEV. But we said we'd smash it if it got there. Otherwise, we'd watch the market. So here we go. Square to the upside, guys. Join the sticky note party and follow me on Twitter. I'll drop the link soon. But there it is. Nice little break upside on Square. Go, buddy. Maybe we get a smooth dollar on this one. If not more. What's up, Brandon?
All right, another earnings name here. Multiplan just popping up, guys. This is a software maker. It looks like mid cap. Just got smoked there from 730 down to 690, all in one order. So huge seller came in there. MPLN, big move down, guys.
Add that one to the list for sure. There's one that I forgot, and and I shouldn't have. It was that Chris from yesterday. Now, they reported, and this stock, look, the stock just couldn't do anything all afternoon. And I was saying he needs to break out of this range. If it can't break up, you're going to have possibly a flush. I didn't think it would happen at exactly 4 o'clock on the earnings, and it would be this deep, but that's what happened there. Anytime you see this in post earnings, I should have been all over possibly this rollover short at 1450, but we didn't get it. And here's a possible second chance. Sometimes the market gives you a second chance. And I look at that 1450. It's consolidating lower now. I'll take my shot at Chris. And if I can get an average price of about like 1410 or so, I don't mind taking some shares in front of it at like 1395 or somewhere around that range. And then you can add to it like 1405, 1410. So that's the level I like. Square just broke to 211. I have an offer to get some out above that quarter. So let's see if we can't take like $1.25, $1.30 out of the next leg. And then from there, it's a hold. There we go. I saw you. I'm not going to hit a key because you already did, Sean.
Yeah.
Square to the upside. Oh my gosh, Wish is back at 85s. It popped. I got to short more.
Okay, guys, so Palantir, we get short. We make money on the short. We get out a little bit there. Out. So there's 2 outs there. There's 3 ins here. So we're out of a third there. So this is going to be relatively a flat trade. And now we go long. We're going to wait to see. We're small long again. We're not doing anything. We're not doing anything big here on Palantir today, guys, unless we get to key levels. So let's slow down on everything. We're going to be positive on Palantir. We just need to break 1950 there, and then we're going to go ham on that one. And then there's the out on Square, guys. Like we'll give DAPs up here, but you gotta take some profits on that one. I did anyways. You can do it. I mean, like Neil mentioned there, we still think there's a lot of upside on Square, but don't play around. Look at this market, man. Fade, fade, fade. So you got to be very, very careful on some of these trades. Out for 50 cents, or so, and then out for $1.20 there on Square. So hell yeah, we're happy with this trade. And then Palantir flat right now, and looking for some upside on Palantir now, breaking through 1950. Look at this pullback down though right here. So maybe we got to be flat on Square and then on Palantir. We are long 41s. It's a light position. We'll get it out here. What was that top? 47, 48. So we'll put an offer around there and then slip this out and then pound it through 1950, guys. Boy. If we break 1950, we talked about that in the pre-market.
Slip it out and pound it through. They're gonna have a field day with that one. Phrasing is the phrase I like to use whenever that happens. Now this is not random. Like I didn't just look over at Wish and say, oh my God, it's coming back to the upside. I got to short more. No. This was that pre-market low, that 985. So it was a short off the pre-market highs. Well, I mean not really the pre-market high, but this level here back at 8 o'clock at 1025. And then there was a 985 break. So it goes back to 985, and that's why I'm going to be shorting that price. So I just added back into it. My price is going to be, as you can probably guess, it's in front of that, so 84s. And then I did get some of that Chris to the short side, not Ruth Chris. That'd be delicious. But I got 95s, like I said. If it comes back up and wants to, continue to make a bit of a lower high, I don't mind shorting this formation. Look, I understand if it breaks at 1450, everyone's going to be looking at Chris as a breakout. But if I'm going to short on weakness, when something SSR, if I miss the first chance, I do like the second one as well. So 1450 holds. I'll try to see if I can't get an average price somewhere in those 10s to teens if I can. I don't mind the Squares coming back to that 210 area. If it consolidates long enough and gets a second break, fine. I'm also willing to buy the dip on that one. Got to take a couple of thirds off on that when you get a chance. Gonna shortly, hopefully, get the rest of this Chris trade if I can. There you go. There's that fill on Chris. So I missed it once. I kind of missed it twice when it rolled over the first time, but hopefully the third time will be a charm. A lot of times it's not, but we'll have to see.
Yeah. Okay, so we're watching Palantir again coming through. So we can call other names. I'm not too interested in this until we look elsewhere, until it comes back down or takes out that 1450. Or 1450, 1950. Okay, 45.80 right now. We talked about Uber I mean, we talked about this in the early show, 8:30 when we were on air there. We're looking at some names that are beat down, possibly rebounding. Uber, their quarter wasn't that bad. They talked about turning to profitability. I think it was Q4 and Lyft was Q3. So we'll wait on that. But I think it's worth buying at any break. 46.75. If I zoom in a little bit here, I think that's basically what we're talking about right here. Yeah, 46.50. Let's call it 46.50. So we're waiting on that one to go through. We'll wait and see. But that's 46.50 on Square coming up. Nice to see Donkey Kong bouncing a little bit as well today. This may be an opportunity to get out on DraftKings. Again, up that 4. Ooh, was up 4%. At one point, it touched 44 in the pre-market. Now you're back down to 43. Look at this drop that we had. So they sell this stock a lot, man. It's like all the time, and then it finally catches bids. So is that a real bid down there? Like, let's see, DKNG. Let me call up a 20-minute chart. I like this better to find out some key levels there. Yeah, so that is going to be legit there. It was from yesterday. It only dipped down as low as 41.50, so maybe you can wait for that. On an upside break, I'm not really interested in this until we get to 45. We may even have to wait to 46 to do something. So right now, DraftKings, not on my radar for a trade. Alibaba's drifting down, but really has been okay today. This is my only real loser today on board is going to be Alibaba. We made that back on XPEV, so that was a good one, XPeng here. But Alibaba just cruising right now, looking to pick some up. I think a 213 pickup probably reasonable. So let's go 213 with a stop at 212. We'll give it about a buck worth of room here. We're going to take a risk here on Alibaba, guys.
Yeah, and I'm getting ready to buy this dip here if I can in Square. So leave some on board, but I also want to make sure I can catch a little something on this little dip, and maybe a couple of times in front of VWAP. I like the trend in the market. I mean, Square was a little bit late to the party, and I know there's that some concern over the crypto exposure. We're holding 50,000. We're getting to 39 on Ethereum there. So that's holding for now. I should say the big four now. Bumble, which I know I've gotten away from. Sometimes you do hit it and quit it. That was probably the wrong call because this is a great setup here off of this 45. Now, much like Cali. I was thinking Pally in my head, and I was looking at Chris, so I put those two together. Much like Chris, it does test that level, and yes, you've missed the rollover here at 45.50 or so. But given how weak Bumble has been, when it consolidates lower, yeah, I don't mind looking at a 43.75 break and then give it to as I'm sitting here talking, I'm gonna get my order. If it breaks 43.75, I'm going short. I'm just going to say that out loud so you guys know. And then you only have to give it back to like a 44.25, a 44.50, a tighter stop, even though you've missed the party a little bit here. So I want Bumble one more time if it breaks down from here. It'll be a tighter stop because I've missed the 45 move. Is it small cap recap already? Brendan at the big screen.
Yeah, 10:20. Let's jump into a few of the small caps that were moving around in the pre-market. This PALI we mentioned right at the open. 680 was a bit of a pivot here in the pre-market, and then 740 was really the top, but didn't matter because none of them came into play. Really, 680 did get touched there before the open. Look at this thing breaking day lows right now, but gave you all kinds of opportunity. I had to try it twice, but all kinds of opportunity to get that one on the downside. It's still going. Volume's still there too. Wish I still had that. Curious, yeah, this went crazy if you remember yesterday. Into earnings, they report aftermarket. The report is terrible. Gets flushed again, but 14.50 and then 15 ends up being a couple of decent levels that got tested here just before the open, but that gave you a nice, what was that, $3.50 move? $2.50 move to the downside because of math. 14.50 though, watch that on Curious, and then we'll show you this Wish. I mean, we were all talking about it, but I really wanted 10.50 to short, but no bounce in Wish yet. 9.50 the bottom here, guys, for that one. Back to you.
Yeah, I mean, of course, it's like Square breakout good, pull back, we'll see what happens, but it's a shorts as usual that seem to be coming in here, so you just mentioned it, and I'm going to go with the airplane that's crashing because Chris immediately rolls over. Sometimes you get fortunate because you get a level, you miss out your opportunity, and then the third time it comes through, we're going to be able to get it. It comes down to VWAP and taking profits off. I mentioned something about Pally. I know I was mixing up the names there because this was starting to make another move. I had just missed this other shot at 650. when it comes streaming down, I get the out of some of those shares there in front of that 6 even. And remember I said I'm taking more on the short if it breaks that 6. So I entered into a break at 6. I have not gotten anything. I'm trying to get like, a bid down here. I thought I had a bid down at 90s. It should be on 90s. Let's move it right here and see if I can't get into that 90 action. So I'll try to take some out at 90. If this breaks any lower, I'm not thinking 525. I'm thinking more like 550, 560 will be the ultimate target. On the way to that, you got to go through those quarters. So I'll look at that 75 area and probably get a bid in front of it. And then, of course, 550, the ultimate out. So it's been only one direction for PALI. Maybe there was a long in there somewhere for you guys bouncing off of that 6, certainly. I was looking to play those shorts off of VWAP. It's Square and Virgin Galactic that are having some trouble here. So I'll go back to Square for you. Of course, it's New York. I'll go back to Square for you. It cannot hold VWAP, but at least it's consolidating off of 207. This is going to be one of those like kill spots because if it comes back to 05, I know I like an 05 long. Like there's no chance I'm not going to be buying an 05, and I'm not going to average into it all the way down to 05s. If we can hold 07s, this is a long off 07. This is like Coinbase, right? Like I'll try it again, back down to 205, and hopefully have a better result than I did with XPeng. I know you got your money back with XPeng. I never did, because for me, if I try a couple of dip buys and they don't work for me, I tend to walk away from the stock and go to what is working rather than just go back over to it. It's never been my forte, particularly with Square. Hopefully bounce here. Fantastic. I'll try to add one time and then get my stop loaded, but 205 looks like a fantastic level to defend as well.
Yeah, we're back into Square right now as well. Alibaba does go into it comes in. We get filled at 213. It does go as low as 212.50 there. We're waiting for a break of 212 to give us, the idea that we're going to be wrong on that one. We've taken a little bit of Palantir here. We want more. Obviously, we're at 19s right now. Give me those 28. Give me those 28s if we could get them right now. We'll take some 28s out on Palantir. Don't tell me it's going to stop here at 27. There it is. Some 27, some 28s. Let's go Palantir. We loaded up, guys. Look at my price. This is the biggest position I've had on all day for PLTR. Let's just get some out on the upside. Bang! Nice little win here on Palantir. Let's go. I'm scalping, scalp as we go. Square, also a nice runner. We're long at 207.51 right now on Square. So, maybe we'll take out half again. We're up on Square today. So there it is. We'll see if we get out 208. Let's call this up, sorry. 208.30. There it is. A long on Square. Bang. Upside again. So positive on Square. Let's turn that around. Palantir moving. We just need Alibaba to go, man, and we're lit. We're at our highest spot we've been at all day today right now. So let's just keep on going. Come on, Palantir. We're long at 18s right now, guys, PLTR.
Yeah, and you talk about Square there. We talked about that 07 level. I like 05. It doesn't mean I want it to go to 05. So it bounces back in. Get some for like that quickly. You're going to add in at 7, guys. You're going to take some out for like $150, $2 moves. The same way I would on the break. I have another order here because we checked up. And this is when I thought it was good to get in. And so I'm going to take some more out in front of 09s. I'll take some out as well in front of that 10. Like remember 210 was a breakout. On a move like this, I'd anticipate it could slow down in front of it. That order is probably a little bit, no, it's fine. It's like in the 60s there. So I think it's okay. Couple legs out. I want to make sure I'm still holding. I want a long that I can hold above that 210 if that breakout is going to continue. We talked about Chris as well. So all things good, even Virgin Galactic. I'll get to that one in a second. But this bid, waiting for Chris to hit VWAP here and then possibly roll even further to that downside. I'm still short Wish, so whatever. I don't even need to cover that one. Pally just gave me some of those shares at the 90 and still consolidating lower. So it feels like it's all good. And the only reason I hit this one, because you can see the Bitcoins there, is because I was about to go to Coinbase. Oddly enough, not doing a heck of a lot. So hit it and quit it was probably the right decision with Coinbase. And it's not to apologize for it, but I'm going to kind of apologize for it because I was explaining why I would get it at 282 and not wait for that next $5 range, 85s. Of course, it turned on a dime at exactly 285. So that ended up being wrong in terms of an out. It's only a couple of bucks, but sometimes that $5 range thing with Coinbase should just be the default in the go-to. Brendan?
All right, another earnings name, Yeti, reported, the cooler maker to the upside in the pre-market here. Another one of these charts that got absolutely flushed initially, but look at this, right back up, trying to test some of these levels from the pre-market right now. 85 key here for Yeti, guys.
Okay, so Alibaba just puke city there on that move down. So there's a dollar loser. We flushed ourselves down the toilet. So we are now no longer at our highest spot of the day. We were rolling when this was rolling as well, but there goes Alibaba, man. I said I'd be picking some up at the end of the day, but I'm really, really nervous. There's the break. I should have played the break. That was stupid. Instead of just waiting for that long to come through. We knew that they had a bad report. Bad reports have been getting killed, right? I mean, I thought their report was okay, but again, you say a couple bad things and you get absolutely destroyed. So Alibaba to the downside now. No, I guess not the report that everybody wanted. We may have just bounced. That low right there on the pre-market was 67. We touched as low as 1150. I may just short anything around 213, 213.50, 213.70, something like that as the market now retracing back to the downside. And this is why, guys, I had that many shares. I have this many left. So I have about 25% left on Palantir. And I mean, call it for what it is, man. Maybe this is like not being smart, but taking out 15 cents here, 20 cents on Palantir. I'm going to continue to do that all the time. I haven't given this name up. Obviously, I'm still long, and we're still long at 18, so it's a nice dime, but we're waiting for more. I'm still waiting for this 50 to crack. When that happens, we'll giddy up on that one, and we'll smash that level. XPEV, that's probably back down? Yeah. So good outs on XPEV right there. Look at these VWAP outs. We turn a negative into a positive on XPEV. Got hit here. Long, this was good, man. We got 27 out of third, out of third, out of third. Averaged in, dumped out a little bit there. Notice we got not the wrong price. Notice we were a little too risk tolerant there, and risk adverse, I guess. And then we bought it back up, out there. Now looking to buy some more. If it comes back down to 24.10-ish, we pick up some more XPEV with that bottom break coming through. But this market, man, sick right now. So watch out. Palantir's coming back in. We may just get out of even a little bit more, even if it's only 3 or 4 cents.
Oh, I just got what I think was well, we'll see about it, because actually I want to go back to Square, because we did get some profit in there. It took out that 07, so I'm going to be out of that trade. Just a little tiny wick, but that's enough. If I like the 05s, we were able to scalp some out there for that little win at like 08s or so. Remember, we're taking a bit of a hit when we got back in at 08. So I'm going to look back to that 205. I'm actually going to make sure I have a bid in front of it, just in case. And I'm kind of feeling like that just flushed out and then didn't even go. There's a part of me that wants to sort of get something back in front of that 207. I do want an order in front of 05, so I'm going to get that locked and loaded, ready to go first. But man, it just feels like I got wicked out of it. And whenever that happens to you and you like the stock, sometimes it sort of behooves you to try to get back in. So I'm going to try and dip back into it if I can get a decent price on Square. I don't want to chase it too far. The other long that we had on, again, holding, and it cannot break 17 is Virgin Galactic. So I will take another leg off. It just got 90s there, so that's fine. It just needs to get going. It's not necessarily like the biggest bull case for me because it's been so beaten up. I thought it had some downward spiral to it. But that's a big V-shaped recovery. That's a big double top breakout. It's now consolidating. I want to have something on board. If 17 goes, I want to hold some of this long on Virgin Galactic, but it's running out of time before I'm start thinking about a retracement short. And speaking of those have been all pretty easy. The easiest, well, I shouldn't say that, all pretty successful. Pally just got some more shares out there at 580 in front of that 575. I added to the position at 6 even. It's been only short for me. Any of you that are watching for the first time, the up arrows obviously that are green, it just means we bought, whether it's getting out of a short position or in getting into a long. The purple, it's a short sell. Red would mean we're covering a long position, so that would be selling out of a position. Short sells are all purple. I've got no longs at all in Pally, and I don't intend to do so.
Okay, yeah, we did buy back in there on Square, so it looks like that's going to be a good decision for us in the long run there. We're long 207.44 right now on SQ, so it's another 50-cent win to the upside. Probably thinking about taking a part off, but I don't mind that 207 bottom, Neil, that you were talking about there. So we'll wait to see if that can hold it. I don't know. It was a nice move back up there. We could have taken that profit out again at 208.40, but I'm noticing that Colonial Pipeline there paid. Maybe Brendan already talked about this, but they paid that ransom, like I said, for them to do yesterday. So glad they finally did that. What's up, Brendo?
Yeah, apparently in cryptocurrencies as well. Was just waiting for the natural gas inventories because of that story to come out, but it's a build. So, I mean, even natural gas, part of that Colonial Pipeline was a build on the week. So, yeah, hopefully that is now behind us and everything will get back to normal as far as fuel consumption and supplies on the East Coast. Miss B is watching what's going on over in Europe. There's an hour left in the session over there. What's up, B?
Hey Brandon, European markets are mixed, reacting to the US inflation data. Mobile provider BT Group, trading in London, is down more than 6% after it posted a 7% drop in revenue and 6% drop in adjusted earnings for the full year. Back to you.
Yeah, market really strong, even with that producer price index number we got this morning. That was still higher than expected, guys, similar to the CPI, but yeah, we're up significantly, obviously.
And sort of speaking about like risk management like we usually do, I can't look at this and complain about it and not get out of space if it breaks to 1670. I'm not gonna go short, but I am gonna cover this one and just say, look, the rest of these trades is gonna be a loser. It is what it is. I've gotten back into that square because I think I got like faked out here, and I'll give it some room past that 207, but I'm not gonna hold through this level here on Virgin Galactic. It probably is worth a decent reversal. Maybe that's gonna be true, but I'm just gonna get out of it. I actually just paid down to 68 there. So we're in, average price was 78. It never gave more than like 10 cents and then 10 cents here, and I'd already lost on the short, so it's not really even gonna be a great trade at all, despite what was crazy action. Just know, maybe I should have reversed short, but that's not the look I'm going to go for. I just got back into square, just so you guys know, off of that 27 level. And wow, that just happened. Did Alibaba just break through 10?
Yeah, it just broke through $10 there. So we're watching Alibaba now like a hawk, seeing what's going to happen with that. Well, we did take a long there at 211 and out 210. So again, man,
I didn't think
we talked about this name, and I just said it would go one more time there, and it broke down. We talked about getting short again. It was a big flush there on Alibaba. I don't know if anything's come out, but I guess people that were long this name no longer likey Alibaba. Alibaba's been sick for a while. We're going to have to hold out, man. It's a long position of mine, and we're just holding it to see where we go from here. But trying to average in maybe 200. We talked about that before. AMC going off as well. Mara down 6% today when Bitcoin's not moving. We talked about that correlation and how I don't like it. So watch out for that movement on Mara down today. Here's AMC. Not sure what the news was on AMC today, but volume here, 51 million and just ripping upside AMC today. So I guess it's just, I mean, we talked about this earlier about Wall Street bets. So we'll wait to see on AMC, but down here, 1150, maybe VWAP break. If the steam's out of this name, I don't know if it is, but that could be the case here. So watch out for AMC. I got to find something. This market still up 1.44. Seems like none of these longs really working out too great, though. I got to find another name what's ripping. I guess it's just AMC. Peloton to 94, guys, today. That's a big mover.
Yeah, I mean, I just noticed, in addition to AMC, that Silvergate is pulling back a little bit, but it is up and sort of strong. And Boeing, of course, that 3%, that's up. Just looking at my board, CCL is actually up 2.5%. There are some sort of strong names here that I think we're not paying close enough attention to. Look at the buy the dips on CCL, Carnival in particular, off of VWAP every single time. Now, this is slowing down and looking like it might want to turn over. I actually didn't think I was going to get that 210 in Alibaba. The way the market was going, I kind of felt it was going to get dragged up. And then you had that flush. It came out of nowhere. I just noticed because I was triggered in. I had that 210. So I got 70. What did we get priced? 75s I got slipped to on a 210 break. Literally as far down as I was willing to cross it is the price that I got. So I feel like that was a lot of long stops that got broken there. And I might have got a horrible price into this one. We'll see. I'll try to scalp some out there. If it can't go, I have to at least give it back to a 211. So we'll see if I can't get a 1-to-1 going. I did get back into the square long. So momentum-wise, Baba short, square long is what I happen to be sitting in. And of course, these small caps, no problem whatsoever. I'll go back to it because I don't mind saying it, and I don't mind showing it. That's Wish. You know what it's doing. Right back to 50s. We reloaded, and again, we talk you through the plan of action here, and it's nothing against the company. Like, you know what I mean? It's just, we talked about the plan to be short almost any price. We all like that breakdown at 85. It gave you the shot to come right back into the same breakdown price on a pullback. So you rinse and repeat the same trade. If it's going to work, you take that pattern and go over it again. Now, if it holds the bottom, maybe we have to consider getting back out or not averaging it at 85 again if it wants to hold this 950 area a second time. If that happens, fair. The short's already given your money. Don't be afraid to walk away from it. No one ever got broke taking a profit. Brandon, what's up?
Just watching Lemonade here, trying to make new highs on the day. It just popped up to almost 62 on that last little move higher. There was a bid that was kind of chasing it up there. It was 10,000 shares, but trying to lift price a bit. I think it actually just got filled though. So Lemonade still trying to go here. Back to the upside, guys.
Lemonade, yeah, lemonade off that muddy waters there. Square just continues, man. We got out of Square to the downsides. We're actually going to turn red on Square again. So we tried, man. We keep trying this 207. The funny thing is, I just got greedy. Like that's just what's happening today. This was another $1.50 win, or no, sorry, a dollar winner. We were long at 207.37. It went up twice for us, $1 in the money, and we didn't do anything about it. So just thinking that Square had that more upside to it. But again, the market right now just battling itself here. Seeing what it wants to do at this and we can blow this up a little bit for you. 113.71. I guess it's basically this 131.50 there. You got to watch out for that one. So we'll watch the NASDAQ making some moves down. Well, I said we trade some Qs and some spiders. Maybe we have to have a look at that as well, because the market right here fading in. Just hard to trade some of these names today on this move.
I just got out of Square. That's my last long. I mean, because the Virgin Galactic rolled over. Square again looks like it's trying to wick me out here. It just is what it is. I'll wait back for that 205. But you started to see the market turn a little bit, and I just go back into the NASDAQ to show you guys. You know, it got towards what was, if you go back to the 12th, I'm not a rune, but you get these bottoms like that 13.12 or 13.2 or so, and you get this rollover. I mean, I'm not going to sit there digging into long positions at the top or holding on to them, not having a stop. Even if I really like the stock, that's what's going to be. So if we start a rollover, fantastic. I only have short trades on. I'm looking for something to buy on a dip. I haven't really found anything yet. 05s on Square is probably going to be one of those plays. I am looking back at Coinbase as well, but it's nowhere near that 275 that I like. It's a couple of bucks away, so I'm trying to be patient with that. There's no rush. It's 10:30, 10:37, and you have a good morning, and you got that money in there. You don't have to be forced to trade. You hold what's working and wait for the good prices on the stocks that you like at the prices you like, and that only. Brendan?
Some Canadian content for you guys. This is why we have our friend Raheem Alani swing by every once in a while to talk about some under-the-radar opportunities in the Canadian markets. This Digi host popping up here, DGHI. It's on the Venture Exchange here in Toronto. Up big time today on this news. They bought 10,000 Bitcoin miners for DGHI. So I think this was about 2 weeks ago. He mentioned this, going back to around here, just under $2. But nice move for DGHI. Shout out to Raheem, guys.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, good look on that one. And again, you know, I think I don't want to say which way to trade it. Oh, wow, what's this? XPEV, big size here, guys. I think it's probably worth just going long right now. Some big size there on XPEV, so let's do it. There we go. We're going to go long right there. We're going to give it to that bottom of the day again. If this cracks, though, we're going to get out, obviously, as it's going to be going to the downside. But there it is. Take a big long there on XPEV and see if this one will pay us off. Take that long. We saw that volume, so now we're long right now at 07. Nice little bump up. Hopefully the volume or the size follows it up, guys. If this gets hit out of the downside, then we're going to flash out. Still on that low of the day, 23. I canceled my order because I wasn't in it. I guess 23.90 break there. We'll get out of this one.
Yeah, I mean, see size like that. Like, I pulled it up and I'm with you. For me, it's going to be a scalp trade because my read has been absolutely piss poor. I can say piss poor. It's been piss poor on XPEV. I'm sitting there averaging into a long when really you should be waiting for that spot. Like the first long, if it's right below that 25, like that fail break idea, that's okay. And then you get that hit in through that break of 40s. I don't mind that, but it's when you get averaging, and it's always that first fill. It's like in the pre-market, it's always crap. Anyways, you get size like that, I don't care. I'll just quickly scalp off like 10, 15, 20 cents, not even thinking it's going to be a ridiculous bottom there, and just take advantage of one of those plays when we see them there. So good luck, Sean. We always love those as day traders. That's why we try to show you the level 2 every chance that we can get to it. I can tell you the short that's new that isn't working is Alibaba. It's consolidating off of this area. If it does flush down from here, that would be a big time sign of weakness, but I can't ignore the fact that after breaking 210 and clearly triggering a lot of stops, including my short, it is not moving. I'm going to bring my stop down from 211, I should say. I'm going to bring that stop down to about 210.50 just to risk a little bit less on this move.
So guys, right here, good trade on XPEV, out of half now. So that's what we'll do. We'll do DAP up for that one because we gave you that one, and it was pretty clear as day right there on XPEV as we saw that size there, and I think that was important. Not lesson. I mean, it's not a lesson. I like that you guys were able to see that at least, so you're able to get a feeling for some of the stuff that we see live on the level 2 screen. If you want to know more about fees, how we trade, and what's going on, I don't know if is it. Do we even have a thing for what's up, guys? What we're doing afterwards? Tell me which number it is on the coming up. We do have a Day Trade the World thing coming up for us. Robbie, what number is it? We don't have it today. Okay. So if you want to hear about fees, guys, 11:35, we'll be talking about Day Trade the World and how we're trading and why so far today do I have 187 fills and only $22 in fees. So we'll talk about how that is and what's going on with that. But that is up at 11:35 right after the show. So in about an hour, watch me and one of the partner recruitment team members from Day Trade the World talk everything about fee structure with Day Trade the World. Brendo.
Of a mirror opposite, I guess, from yesterday's board. I was trying to count how many negative stocks there were. I think there's about, I don't know, 8 on this board. Everything else in positive territory. 1.4 to the upside here. It is as positive as it gets today. PRGO down 2%. That was an earnings name. Pharmaceutical. There's a couple of energy names still in negative territory, but the energy group is actually in positive territory on the day. Material stocks, communication stocks, both sharply higher. It's all about tech shares today and some of the industrial names. I mean, there is not a negative symbol on either of these boards so far to show you. Financials in positive territory. Consumer discretionaries as well. Even the automobile makers popping back up here, 2+% right across the board. These were pretty hard hit yesterday. I mean, 1.3, there's not much to say, guys. It's all good, I guess, is the best way to put it.
It's good. It's all good. Yeah, it definitely is. Obviously, I'm going to show you the short that doesn't work. If everything is going to be up, and I'm shorting Alibaba through the low of the day, I just told you I tightened my stop up because I didn't like the action. If you're getting short at a bottom like this, ignore that wick. That's a 15 to 10 move all the way from a 225. I mean, either it's going to go, or you might want to run to the exits because it could be one of those like stops everybody out and then finally gets the juices to go. So I'll take it off for less than $1 loss. Now, obviously, usually you're going to want to give it a little bit more room than that, but I just didn't get the feels for it there. So maybe it flushes and I'm not in it. I can live with that. I got shorts on that I like, that I think are a heck of a lot weaker on a day today. Like today, we're up 1%. You ask yourself, like, how can you actually have mostly shorts at work? Because you beat up on the stocks that got beat down that are the weakest, like, Wish, Bumble, which, by the way, Brendan just mentioned, comes right back into that 45. And it's like you get distracted, and of course, probably playing a little bit too much square. I don't like having too many of a certain style of trade on at the same time. That's going to make me miss out on that Bumble at 45. If it comes again, I'm probably still willing to take it, but at some point it might turn into like a 45 breakout. I'm not quite there yet, but it's getting darn close to thinking about that long. The scalp trade in XPEV is probably done. It's giving you like 10 cents or so. If it wants to go any further than that, fair enough. Oh my goodness. Did coin just break 275? Yes, it did. Unbelievable.
All right, yeah, someone said, when did I get another Palantir short? We went long, and then we just held a little bit, so we were, wondering about getting long there. Palantir back down to 19 right now, so that short was pretty good. XPEV was a good trade for me lately, and we're just gonna look for some more there. Neil just talked about XPEV. Yeah, it's nice to see the board today. Pretty much everything. One name that we haven't talked about, that we talked about a lot yesterday, was Canada Goose. So Canada Goose today, with warm weather coming, I don't know their product line enough, so I don't know if there's anything coming for them or on that front, if they have anything that people wear in summertime. But Canada Goose today down to 38, not a good number for them. Down, it looks like it's going to break downwards here, so like a 38.50 or something like that break might be worth it on Canada Goose. That name just in trouble right now, to say the least. Our XPEV all the way back down. This is why we get out, guys. Like, we ring the register. I told you about that up here. There's a lot of outs right now on this name. So now with the market falling back down, you got to be very, very careful, obviously, about some of these trades. So watch out now. We're long there in front of big size. Is the big size still there? I don't see it, but it was on EdgeX. So we need to get back down to EdgeX before. So here it comes. Let's see if it's still there, guys. It was 24.05, I think it was. There, I would punch.
Oh, we got sevens long. It was 05.
We just punched long. So I believe believe it's going to be at 05. So we'll wait to see one more level down, and then we'll see if it's there. My guess is it's gone. The guy was just, yeah, there it is. The guy was just trying to spoof it, so there's no levels there. So here it comes back to the downside. Watch out for a break now, since that buyer is gone on XPEV. So this is probably going to break 24 here, guys.
That's enough for me to get out of it when I see that kind of a move. And the guy you're going to pull your order is what it is. I want to show AMC here because these are aggressive. The first time it came up, I was like, oh, maybe it actually wants to give you VWAP. But I guess sometimes when it's going like hyper bull, what'll happen is everyone's thinking the same thing, and then you're buying up the pullback before it can even get to VWAP because everyone is sort of obvious. And if there's too many people piling into that style of a trade, it is what it is. At some point, you have to start. Okay, my daily chart's going to be frozen, but anyways, I'll go to the 15 and show you if it'll even come back. Of course, it won't. Anyways, the level I'm looking at next is going to be there we go. The level I'm looking at next is right here. It already failed once at 12.25. Everyone's looking at the same chart and aggressively buying these dips off of VWAP. So if you're going to go against the grain, you're going to go against a moving freight train, you have to have some kind of a plan. It's already failed up here once. I feel like if it consolidates a little bit lower, the risk to reward to finally take it back into VWAP is going to be there for me. This is like shorting AMC when it's doing this and a specific crowd is getting it moving is usually a dangerous game. I've waited until it got to that level and failed once, and then I'd rather join selling than initiate it because that's usually suicide in AMC.
Yeah, watch. I mean, you guys know the power. You guys are the power there on Reddit. So watch out, guys. If you're on AMC, I mean, it's been a big mover. Watch this. Here goes XPEV. Let's go. Oh, we were at 21. I don't know why. We're at 21 there, and it stopped at 21. Okay, so there's the break there. We actually got more long at 02. There it is. Bang! Yes, sir. Superman on XPEV today, for sure. One of my top stocks. Unfortunately, Alibaba's been bad. Wish, obviously, we've talked about how good that one's been for us and hopefully for you guys as well. And then there's XPEV again, out 21s there. Just playing this like really good. We did get some out at 05 there because I did offer when I saw that 05 and I forgot to cancel, but that's okay because we did get an 01 long out 05, so that's still 4 pennies. Then we just took 21 pennies there, hoping for more, but that's a hope at this point as the market needs to really tell us what to do here. Palantir bounces off 19, like that's a solid bid there. It seems like at 19. I just, the market, like I'm still nervous about this thing turning green to red. I mean, I know we're already up that 1.43%, but again, if I'm going to listen to my own rhetoric, then I think like we kind of got to sell some of these pops. I still feel, but I don't know. I mean, it's been beat down. Like, check out the Qs. We'll talk about that a few times here, and I'm going to start to look at it. But if you look at the Qs on the daily chart, hopefully it loads. Come on. The NASDAQ's been kind of crushed. So we're back down here. You guys already know that. We're only back down to March levels, right? So it can go a lot more than that. So let's not think that this is over with by any stretch of the imagination, but you still have dip buys into 300, maybe 310, something like that. The NASDAQ just ticked all-time highs, right? So we're getting close to coming back in to that 300 level, but watch out, man. NASDAQ 1.41%, strong one today. Got to celebrate that.
Absolutely, and okay, Steve G, I'll look at NEO in a quick second here, but I just want to note this, the hold fest on this MTR. Possibly, I don't know if it's coming to an end, but this is like a downward halt that it just put on here. There's been one, there's been a couple to the upside. It feels like after that extended move, it could be calming down. I will only jump into these usually after they show some semblance of, I guess, price discovery, and then they can stay open for a little bit, but that's now firmly on the radar. NEO, for you, Steve G. Look, there we go. NEO right on the absolute low of the day. Now, I don't, of course, I was trying to buy dips in XPeng there, so you know that hasn't been like the best trade. You had to really pick your spots. What would have to happen here in NIO for me to like this to the long side is that like a flush out at 33. Like, I mean, break the 33 even. It's already, a pre-market low. Already put in some bottoms at that price. Break this 33 even. Maybe it's not that I want people to get stopped out, but you want some of that pressure relieved. And then suddenly, like maybe if it can catch a bid off of that, I would like it a heck of a lot more. But just sort of jumping in front of what I think is going to be like a dug-in long position already, where there's a bunch of people that are likely long this consolidation. If 33 goes, there's a lot of people taking profits on the way up. I'd rather some of that pressure relieved through 33 and then come right back up and reclaim it. Does it go right here? Maybe. With my lack of success in XPeng, outside of that one order that Sean pointed out there, I'm not going to be jumping into long myself. Yes, it looks like a decent setup. I'd rather see that stop break and then come back up. Brendan?
It is currency time. Let's have a look at what's happening in currency world. It's kind of hard to avoid that move that happened overnight over there on Bitcoin. We'll talk about that in a second, but nothing really going on as far as the actual pairs are concerned. We are seeing a little bit of a bounce back in the US dollar today, but overall, pretty flat right across the board. Some are higher, some are lower, but nothing significant. But the big moves coming at the bottom end of the board here, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple, all 6 or 7.5% to the downside. You can see Bitcoin. If you go to the daily chart, this is 47,000, big level on a daily time frame. We did slice through that, but immediately got right back above. It's just bouncing back and forth around 50 right now, but still down 7.6%, 6% here for Ethereum, as I mentioned, and Ripple as well. Cryptos, I mean, they're trying, but going to need a little help, I think, guys.
That's why you got to diversify your bonds. And if you know where that's from, good for you. And we'll talk about that hopefully later on. Look at ADA, right? We talk about Cardano there, up to the upside, still 187, still hanging around. So, you know, you got to sometimes have different coins there. I like Cardano. That's down 6%. Most of the big ones down 6%. This is probably up 15%, something like that today. So a good move there for ADA. The only position I have on, so I will talk about it, is XPEV. Another win there. Let's go to the minute chart so you can see. We just took some out. I thought I took some out. No, I didn't. I didn't get filled at 23. Okay. So I just thought we took some out at 23. So let's just change that order. Put one there at, let's get out here at 17. There we go. So we took it 17 there. We'll cancel the rest. Out at 17 there. Looked like it wanted to flush there a bit. So we'll wait now. Look, we break that down through 24. We're out. But this name's just been scalped by me today. So it's been a pretty good one. Uber still holding out high. Palantir's notice no bids on Palantir. We're still waiting for this. If this can come in, man, we like the 1850. There it is, guys. Good job there. Wu-Tang Financial, man, ain't nothing to with, because you don't want to test Wu-Tang Financial, guys. Diversify those bonds, Marlon. You know what we're talking about. So let's get going on that one. Watch that episode. That's hilarious. Dave Chappelle's show. Fantastic. I think
one of the best. One of the best. There's a million. Look, they're all fantastic, but that is absolutely one of the best. And the only one that's really pertinent to this, with the exception of we talked about Tron the other day because Sean was crapping on the dice game. But anyways, that's another good episode. This is hot hand in the dice game.
If you don't have a hot hand in the dice game, then you shouldn't be playing it.
It's rolling dice. I don't have it on my board. It's rolling dice when you go short in AMC against the crowd. But you guys can all root for me to make top wick. I talked about the plan there. It tried to roll over at that 1235 level. It tested it once. I showed you guys in the 15-minute chart because my daily chart wanted to freeze on me. Anyways, it comes back into that previous high. You get that look in the teens, which I said I liked. I got short at 13, not like 15 or 16. In the bottom end of this range here, I don't mind scalping some out. I had 2 bids in there. I should have only had 1. I don't mind scalping some out in front of this like 1190. If it breaks lower, I'm looking at that 80 range and then looking at VWAP here. It hasn't even made it to VWAP on any of these retracements. Ignore whatever these dark pool wicks have told you. So I'm going to be scalping out. I don't necessarily think it's going to be the home run. This is flushing to 11. If it does, it'll be without me. I just like the risk to reward here and now, and hopefully I don't make top wick. Brennan? I
just saw this positive note on Ford. Guys, heads up. Ford up nicely, in fact, today. I was mentioning those automakers. CEO saying that they're working on a redesign for some parts so they can continue making the parts around the chips that they don't have right now because of the chip shortage without actually having the chips. So they're working on a redesign to continue manufacturing. They also said, and I'll try and highlight it here, they want to reinstate their dividend as soon as possible, guys. So Ford up nicely so far today.
Hell yeah, we loving some Ford. Ford, another name that we bought recently. My last buy, 1131. So yeah, it's not really ripping or anything. Okay, but we did take some Ford. So again, guys, we enter the 36 chambers now and go long on Palantir. So right near 1902, we're gonna go upside, nice little long there. We take that long. May just get this out at VWAP, but I do think if the market rips, why not think about Palantir back into this area? So 24.25 on Palantir. We'll wait for that one. 5-cent win here to 25, 30 cents on XPEV. Watching Ether, watching ADA. We talked about that as well. If you want to trade anything on Ether, you can. Hold on, let's call this up. 1 minute chart. The reason why we're watching this is 39 bounced off 39 there. We could break through 39. So there's a couple different ways to trade this. I got some friends in that. They actually talked to me this morning about it. ETH. BB? Is that no? It's ETHH, of course. It's the
Dot B.
Yeah, dot B. Yeah, it's the Bitcoin one. That's the other way around. Okay, so this is the name here. If you want to get some Ether, this is the Purpose ETF. And again, it's going to seem like we're sponsored by them, but we're not. It's just opened, but again, this is supposed to be 1-to-1 basically. So, and I'm pretty sure that's almost exactly how it follows. Brendan just came up with ETH being down 5-6%. So there it is right there today. If you do like ETH and you don't want to go on exchange, I do recommend that you take this. ETHH or BTCC.B is the Bitcoin trust over on Purpose.
Absolutely, and look, I think it's a fantastic vehicle. I think this is a fantastic community. We all learn together. We all find opportunities, hopefully together, and that's what we try to do. We give you our watch list for free every single day, but it doesn't mean everything's on there. RELI. Yeah, I just noticed this one. I didn't notice it. What am I talking about? I just pulled it up because RockDoc. Thank you for pointing this one out. 450. It's gonna be an obvious sort of a look on. I'll have to fix that chart because it's obviously frozen on me there. So I'll go clean it up at some point. I don't see anything on the 15-minute, but anyways, the 450 level looks pretty obvious. I haven't double checked to make sure we have a short on this one just yet, but you do have a potential both break and roll happening at this 450 mark. But what I like and would usually favor the short is if it's already tested and broken a price like this and then slid back down, like it's giving you any kind of like a fail break or like a double or triple top like it has, I would tend to lean into the short side first. Of course, we have to get those locates. And of course, I have to be a little bit more concerned with, I mean, it's great to have a look at a new symbol, but short in AMC, when it can't make that second push down to that consolidation range that I want or down to VWAP, you got to be concerned that it'll come back through. Now that it's consolidated here, I almost don't want to give it too much past like that 20 to 25 area instead of the high of the day. It is what it is. You're going counter trend. I know it's sliding to the downside. I tend to try to think about what can go wrong first and then sort of worry about the winners when they happen because that's an easier way to manage. Like managing a winner is pretty easy. So as it slides back down, I'll move away from it because I don't really, it's like, okay, fine. Like give me that next target to the 90 or high 80s and I'm good to go. I'm still holding on to Chris. It seems greedy, but I'm trying to hold through a break of 1350. Now, it keeps bouncing off this level, but if I believe in the bear case, it was post-earnings. It had a crazy run yesterday's action, and then the earnings come through with some misses, and then I kind of think it's going to be a sell. It gave you 3 opportunities. I only got this one here, 4. I only got this one here. I need a break of 1350, and I want this down to about 13 even before I take any other legs out. If it breaks 50s to the upside, I'm gone. Not going to hold on to it forever.
You gone. Yeah, no, go have outs all the time. We can't say that enough about our trading, and that's the one thing that I hope you guys could take from us for sure is risk management. Whether or not we get out too early, too late for you, it's up to you guys to trade your own book. But please, guys, do it wisely and safely. You never know. Like we just talked about Palantir went right to VWAP. We didn't take it. Now it comes right back in. Right? You got to have plans of action. Just like, and again, funny that we bring that up because this is a good plan of action for me on XPEV. We've seen that tick down here a couple times. So yeah, we're going to take it out, right? If it comes, sorry, not tick down, tick upside there a couple times on XPEV. So there's another out, like we get that 35. Now I'm holding an embarrassingly low amount. We have nothing left now. So we're holding something pretty small as it comes back down. I'm not going to test it again. Too many times, man. Sometimes it's like too many cooks in the kitchen. It's been down here too many times that right now it probably fails. So I'm just going to get out on a 24 break and then we'll watch. You know what? Screw that. I'm just going to get out now. Actually, no, I'm not. We'll wait. We're up a lot on XPEV here, so it can crack and we'll be fine. So we'll wait on that, but I don't think it's negative talk, but this may be a chance here to get out if this market does fail. A lot of bottoms here. I'm not going one more time. I just don't want to get caught with my hand in the cookie jar, but XPEV on the pullback down looks pretty nice for sure. If you want to get the long and you believe in it, that's not a bad spot. I love the 27 break. That didn't come through today, so take it for what it's worth, but XPEV right now on the move back to the downside. The name, Neil, that I wish I had bought it, and we talked about it over and over again on some of these negative days, was Piton. Piton in the building again today, man. Come on, charts. This name, Brendan showed that chart.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah. 6.3% upside right now, taking out the day's high. Peloton, don't ever, like when they came out with earnings, the earnings were monstrous. They had something like, I don't know what it was, 2.3 million or something like that subs. They blew out more than they thought they would, and now you're getting the little bottom wick there. 3 days, they had some bad action on the treadmill. Obviously, that's disappointing. They had to recall all that, but their bread and butter obviously are the bikes. So treadmills or not, Peloton back to the upside. I'm not endorsing along, just a nice little position there. You may want to fade it off 100 though.
Yeah, look, they ultimately made the right call. Whether they made it late or not, certainly they paid the price and they're trying to move on from that. I'm not saying these guys are going to pay the price bumble here, but of course, it's still in this range. I mean, it hasn't broken this 43.50. So if it breaks, I'm going to go to the short side. The short that is starting to work, and okay, so you can hate. You guys will probably not like it anyways. Here's AMC. It hasn't actually touched off VWAP. That's why I got some more shares out when it got to that 86, 87 range. If it does touch 70 to 75, I'm likely to try to aggressively get out. Like it pops in here, one of two things is going to happen. All morning long, it's been bouncing a little bit shy. So you can get this little turn. I'll try to capture that. There's no way I'm giving it all the way back to break even. That's kind of stupid. But I want to make sure that I have a chance. That as the floodgates open up and the bid evaporates, I can get something in front of those 50s. I don't necessarily think it's going to happen. The pattern would suggest otherwise, but the finger's on the trigger here. If it comes back and snaps into that 85 range, I would just get out, take that 30-cent win if I can. I want to get into Bumble next. I don't know if that's going to be the case. I wanted to get more shares of Wish as I'm eyeballing on AMC, of course. I have that level 2 up. I want to get more of Wish, but this has no bounce in it, none at all. I mean, it keeps trying to get back up into that 985, not even VWAP. I guess I should have been shorting more shallow pops. You live and you learn. It's about to test the low of the day, and eventually, I think if it does hang out here, like the real flood could be coming into Wish, which you think that it's already happened. I'm not even convinced it doesn't have more downside to it, Brendan.
Just looking at these hotels again, LVS just breaking through this high here. Volume alert comes off, I guess it was that high there. 55.90, around 56 for LVS. I mentioned MGM early on this morning, but it has since come back. It's actually kind of here-ish if you look at its chart versus LVS, trying to break to new highs, guys.
All right, so XPEV, we're going to give this a little bit more room, but there it is, man. I'm feeling pretty good about that call because we don't lose. Oh, come on, let's go charts. We don't lose anything on this back end of this trade. So here it comes right to the downside. We're holding a small, like literally, it's so small. I can't even believe we're still holding it, but XPEV right now to the downside. I was holding it to watch it. That gave me the indication, but then we looked at it. We didn't like it. Look at the futures coming to the downside right now. So be very, very careful of some of these trades. And then here comes Palantir. So baby testers, we're getting ready to load up. Let's go. Oh, someone said to me, who was that? Santiago, I guess it was. What's up, Santiago? You said to look at SI, Silvergate. We talked about that early. We wanted that break. What was the top break? 98 or something, I believe it was, on Silvergate. Whatever that pre-market high was. Yeah, right here, I guess. 96, 97. When we were talking about it, was at 91. So yeah, I didn't think this was possible, but then bang, right to 104. And now it looks like it's consolidating again. So what's up to Santiago? I'm going to say what's up to you if I could find you on the chat. Yeah, there you are. What's up? There we go. Just put that on the chat. So 94, yeah, I like that level, guys. What about a Silvergate long here? 94 break, 95 break, upside. Good call, Santiago. Good eye on that one. It's now consolidating here, so watch out for Silvergate, but crypto's crashing right now, guys.
Yeah, you do have to pay attention. Like that's the thing. You got to watch if we break that 5,000. And someone's asking like, what about AMC to 11? Like AMC's done 70. Just put it in the chat there. AMC's done 72 million shares in volume. Right, and it has yet to break the pattern of breaking VWAP. So look, there's going to be other opportunities. If it makes this move here, and I didn't short it any time it did this until it tested 1235. Now, if it comes back up to the top and it's going to consolidate off the top and give you some shorts back in, yeah, I'm going to probably try and be scalping it all the way in. And at some point, if it does make the breakdown, like maybe it's 65, maybe it's 50s, who knows? I don't mind taking that as well, but I'm not necessarily having to be married to the position. Shorting AMC is not like shorting Wish or Bumble today. Right, like where Wish is gonna, there it is, breaking the low of the day, where you're down 17%, yet you have disappointing earnings. You're like the ugliest looking, of course this chart, just close this daily chart. You're one of the ugliest looking charts imaginable. This doesn't even tell the story by 15-minute chart. It's ugly, right? So it's not the same thing with AMC. You can always get back in the trade. I get it. Not everybody is day trading with direct market access like we are, where we can make. I have like 143 fills today. Sean probably has 200. Not everyone has that capability, but we do, and that's kind of the style of trade. So I am looking to get back into it at some point, but I'm going to take my profit and run if I'm shorting in a stock that's constantly going up, whereas I'm going to hold it all day long if I have something like a Wish. It's very, very different, those two styles of trade.
Yep. Yeah, I'm just trying to watch some of this action here on crypto land because we are coming to the downside right now pretty hard as well. So watch out. We can call that up actually for you guys. There it is. So Bitcoin just right now, Neil, you just talked about that. Oh, this is a 1 day. Oops, let's go to a 1 minute chart. Breaking right now, just broke 50 on the downside. So there it is, 49,999 on that downside. So watch out there. If you are a crypto land, this is making moves right now. So breaking from 50.05, and then Ether, I don't know, that is 38, so that's kind of holding up. But right now, BTC just cracked. Brenda, what's up?
On that note, this BT, Bit Digital, they did report, I guess I was going back to a couple weeks ago, but one of the crypto names that we had on the list this morning, actually just popping back to the upside. So this kind of reinforces the message that we were portraying earlier, guys. Some of these do not trade one and the same with the overall price of Bitcoin. So BT, Bit Digital here up 10%, trying to get back to the upside, guys.
Yeah, and I was just looking at Coinbase where I had a stop, got accidentally short. I'm like, get out of it no matter what. I don't care what the momentum is. If I didn't want the short, I'm not going to hold on to it. This could be that test. Now, you break that 50,000, it could be the impetus that gets down towards that 265 that we said we like. It's $7 away, but you got to have a plan of action. You got to be ready and locked and loaded to react. It's not, well, that's the thing. It's not reacting. It's executing a plan when it gets down there, as opposed to scrambling when all of a sudden you're staring at a price that you weren't expecting. I feel like because I didn't really, here's Lemonade. Because I didn't really have too much of a, look, I didn't expect Lemonade to go down to that 54. Like, it came out of nowhere, that little bit of a flush, and you get the Muddy Waters report. Oddly enough, they put in that report after it's made a flush out bottom, and all of a sudden you get it. Whatever. I mean, we've seen that happen time and time again, and then the stock moves to the upside. They're actually green on the session. I'm looking back here and saying if the market rolls over, this could be an interesting one back at this 59 breakout price, 59 on this little dip. If it can't hold that, it could get rather ugly for Lemonade. File that one away and start thinking about that, because we're getting towards the end of the show, and we always say this, 315, when you get an active market or a lot of active symbols like we've had today, you know that close is going to be a good one. It was a good trade by Sean on Tesla yesterday, and you know some of these stocks, and I'm putting Lemonade out there, and I'm probably going to throw out that AMC is going to be pretty good in the last hour of the session. So don't walk away and say, okay, I've done, I made my money. Come back, trade the close, paper trade, I don't care. Just take advantage of the experience of getting both the open and the close, the best times to trade. That's why we come back for you guys. You guys wanted it. We've been giving it to you. We have a lot of fun doing it, of course, guys, and that's enough of me ranting about that. I'll wait for 59s on Lemonade. I'll wait for 265 on Coinbase. Not that I want it to get there, but it is potentially on the march.
Okay, yep, exactly. So we're watching Palantir here. We just took it, so now we're long at 96. So we just took a decent bid there. So now we're gonna wait to see. We averaged in a little bit. It's not a huge bid. We would still love to get something like this down here again on Palantir. So we'll wait to see. But this market, we just said about it being crashed higher. So we'll wait to see what that means here for Palantir. So downside, we're gonna get out if it breaks 1870. Now, I will give it a little bit more room than that, but that's the level that we're looking at. It doesn't look like it wants to stop here. The momentum in the NASDAQ right now to the downside, just no green candles at all here. So we'll have to wait. If it wants to go back up, great, we'll celebrate it. But if not, then we'll wait. Yeah, so right now I just got to deal with this with Greg here. I have a stuck order.
No worries. I was about to pull up Sterling. We're pulling up. Blue Horse loves some U.S. steel. Now, how many, this is the second time we've seen this. Let's pull up the 15-minute chart so you guys can actually see it this way. This is the second time we've seen this kind of a pattern. And it's not to, and of course, this is I'm gonna talk over when AMC finally breaks down, and I'm gonna miss that trade potentially. Maybe it'll bounce back up in the 75 range. I don't know, we'll see. And I said this at 30, and it's not to be like a punk about it or anything, but I kind of felt like this was like a bit of a top. I shorted it myself up there. You got to take profit. This thing, it's not going to last forever. I don't necessarily think in terms of these some of these commodity prices and how crazy they've gone. Reality is going to set in at some point. If you made some good money on something, you should take something off the table. All that said, 25 was the level we expected and potentially hold. But how many times is it going to make that pullback off of 30? Give you a dip buy off of previous consolidation, ramp up, and then go right slamming back down. Now, if you look, and I'll zoom in for you guys, if you look at what happened a couple of sessions ago, it was able to at least hold that opening range, right? Yesterday was all sell-off. If that's the case, you are talking about this 26 level, which has just come in. So, U.S. Steel, it either holds that. It also happens to be just around previous close, which is 26.35 or so. This is important consolidation. If it rolls over from here, I don't like it. If it does, I think you get a potential break at 26.50. If we had if we were doing lunch money, I would be like 26.50 breakout or 26.60 splitting hairs there on a U.S. steel. And I said as I was talking over it, I would miss an opportunity to get into AMC if it flushed again. And the fact that it had done 72 million shares means you can get in even if you cover your short. And that's exactly what is happening. I talked over AMC potentially rolling over. Because it's AMC, you know it's going to give some consolidation, maybe even pop back up, fail breakdown VWAP, and give you like 1185, 1190. So I tend to still be patient with it. Brendo?
Just checking on Moxie, and we haven't looked at this one for a while, but it's been on a bit of a tear here of late. Moxie up better part of 20% here, made recent highs this morning. I don't see any significant headlines on this, but a nice looking daily chart. This is a Chinese little healthcare software company coming back into 9 here for Moxie, guys.
Okay, so yeah, we'll look at that. I'm just building a new position quickly here on Microsoft. 244.30. Softies come down off the 245.50. Was a very, very strong stock today, up that 2 points. So let's see. I still think these are great buy opportunities on the downside of Softy and of any of these big cap tech names that don't really have exposure to crypto or exposure to anything else. I think you got to look at some of these names. And so here we go. So we're going to take this to the upside. Hopefully, we love Microsoft. So we trade that quite well. So we'll wait to see what it does now. Again, a 245 would be pretty nice. I mean, the market looks like it wants to bounce. So if we can get some love back to 245 and change, I think we'll do that on a 3-minute chart. You do have the moving average right here at 244.17. That's just a 3-minute moving average plus the VWAP. So a 3-minute moving average back to 244.70. Here it goes. So a nice little move back upside now on Softy. Good trade, man. 23 plus cents in the money. I think it's worth taking a piece off at least right now, and then we'll see about a higher flyer up to 245. But here we go, right to that level that we're talking about. That's VWAP. A 40-cent win now on Softy, guys.
There you go. That's what I'm talking about. Go back to the well, what works for you best. And I wish I could say I got more shares of Wish. AMC, I'm monitoring because I think it's going to make a little bit of a bounce, like I said, and give you another opportunity to either get your head blown off or to get a nice little short opportunity one more time. But that Wish has now broken the low. Sometimes it's a hard thing to do. But when it had this little double bottom around 940, 945, sometimes you've just got to be willing to short the low of the day. And it's just that simple. Like even a stock that is down 15, 20%, every now and then it's still worth it to do. And that's clearly the case here. Even I didn't believe that was going to be a good one, yet here we are. I'm stuck in this Chris, on the other hand, which continues to try to bounce off as it's consolidating here. So the longer it does this, at some point I might have to take it out all at VWAP if it's not going to give any more. Why? Because I can just take a break of 1350. So that's probably going to be the way I have to go with it. It is what it is. You say that a lot, but you take what the market gives you, not what you want to happen. You can't fight it forever. Okay, so Tesla's right back at the lows. I didn't necessarily think this was going to happen to us, but yet here we are. This is 580. Now, I know it got down to 578, but this is 580 right here, right now. The market's starting to roll over. But remember, this was the bottom, 578 in yesterday's action, a couple of sessions ago, 578 here in the pre-market. Tesla screaming back down towards that level. I think you understand what I'm trying to say here. I will take long in front of that 578. Hopefully, I can get a price in the 580 range and risk about like $3 in slippage. But here comes Tesla. As I say that, I'm sure it's going to bounce and I won't get my entry, but we talked about this level thinking on the off chance it gets there, we'd try to take that bottom when you had that double bottom here. Let's see what happens on Tesla. I only want like 80, 80 and a half, something along that range. I'm not paying 583.
Okay, yeah, I think everything, Greg, just filled there. So I don't know what the hell just happened. All filled. I just got to tell you that. Something just happened to me on ETHE, so I have no clue what just happened there. But okay, all filled. Lost a little bit of money on that one. Okay, Microsoft now to the upside. We'll wait to see what happens with Microsoft. We're okay now, Greg, if you're listening. Okay, so 244.22 now. That was a good out, and that's why, man. We'll just go with a little bit of, I don't know what to do. Let's go Brendan, why not? There it is. Okay, so now we're back into Microsoft. Watch out, this breaks. Look at the NASDAQ now cracking. So we're getting aggressive, man. If this breaks through 244, we're gonna be gone. 240, a little bit lower than that. But now Microsoft in, out. So we're gonna wait on that one now. Coming to the downside now is Softy. Let's wait. wait to see where it goes from here, guys. But 244 looking to break. That was my breaking spot, so we'll give it a little bit lower than that on this NASDAQ move down. We're only long at 17, so we could get out now for flat. But let's see if it can give us a little bit of upside here if it holds that 244, guys.
I like that line there, calm Minao. Tesla just landed and is refueling to go back to the moon. Mars, baby, that's where, I mean, look, that's where Elon wants to go, to Mars. Mars, I can't say the second part of that line from Chappelle because we get like demonetized or something like that. But I haven't looked once at the chip makers this week, which is that a record? Maybe. But I'm just noticing like some of the weakness here because I just pulled up. Thank you for that chart. Wow, that's a ridiculous wick. So that chart's gonna be useless. But AMD just down here. Yeah, I can't even zoom out. That's, oh my God, that's a pain in the butt. AMD just breaking through the low of the day. That's 74. I don't know where the bottom is going to be here. It's hard to chase multiple symbols when the market's rolling over. And I got Tesla on here, but at some point, I'm going to be looking at the chips to make a bit of a bounce. I don't know where it's going to be just yet, but stay tuned. Going to put them on the list for the after show as well. After noticing this sharp pullback on lows of the day here. A lot of stocks on lows of the day, but just noticing the chip makers as well.
Okay, Softy, come on, battle back, buddy. Okay, Palantir back down to a reload area right now. Just making sure that we have the stop ready to go. I don't know if we should give this to 850 or this 870 level right now. So we're gonna wait on it for now, but not worth it. Shoot, should have got long there. Damn, wasn't even paying attention. I had that order routing problem there. But we did go back to Microsoft. We're long at 15. Let's just wait to see. We took a piece off there at 15. So now we're going to give it back to the upside. Palantir, definitely a missed opportunity. I'm going to put a bid right now at 50 and then get out if it does break here. Oh, sorry, wrong screen. Put Palantir up. If it does break back down below this like 1869-ish area, then we will get out. And I'm just giving it a little bit more room than I would have normally on this break, but we'll take a 79 bid and then an out on the upside there, just in case the NASDAQ does want to start to rally off that bottom. It tried there, didn't really go. Microsoft got back into the money, but we are giving this with a little bit more room to the downside, but not, here it comes, but not much, man. A little bit more, and we'll get out of Softy there on that 12, on that 244 break. Yeah, it looks like it wants to get nasty with it. So that is Microsoft right now. There it is. Are we out? Yeah, there it is. So we'll flush ourselves down the toilet, but it's not really that bad. Oh, where are my? There it is. Microsoft, basically a flat trade there. We didn't lose anything, but we would have liked to win. So let's wait to see. Oh, now the NASDAQ goes, screw off. We might have to get back into Microsoft.
Just going to show, I mean, even some of the strong stocks like Peloton, which had been one of the stronger names that you point out there, Sean, that just pulled back harsh off the top. So you're kind of seeing not just the weakness in the bottom, show you that AMD, I should say, showed you Tesla, which I just got long, and that's still testing those lows. You've been seeing rollovers in some of the stronger names. Saw US Steel couldn't make that hold, so no breakout trade for me over there. All I have on is the shorts I've had on all morning, and I'm not going to be digging into too many longs. When you get a rollover, and I mentioned this just to go to the futures. When you get a rollover off a top like this, and you're still looking pretty strong, up 1% NASDAQ, up 1.5, or 1.125 on the ES, and you're trading something off of the low of the day, so it's weaker than the average, weaker than the overall market. You don't want to dig in too deep with it because you know it's got some relative weakness in it, and that could be a little bit troubling. That's why I'm not averaging in a Tesla. I'm not doubling down by buying some of the chip makers at the low of the day just yet. If we start getting going and we start making some fresh highs, you can always be a little bit later to the party as long as you're well dressed. Brendan?
We've covered most of these crypto stocks today, so why not mention micro strategies here as well. Did get back above 500 in the pre-market there. We're coming back in though to 510, which was a level as well. I just saw this. MicroStrategies buys another 271 Bitcoin for 15 million, guys.
Average price though, I see that average price there, 56. Bitcoin right now at 50. So good move there for Bitcoin lovers. Hopefully, as I said, I think it's an opportunity to buy more Bitcoins right now, not less. So if you do like Bitcoin, I think there's a good opportunity to get some on that Elon mess, basically is what I'll call it. Okay, so we did get out of Microsoft, but we did try one more time there. I just didn't want to get that wick out there. So we did get back in. We have to pay that extra 20 cents to get back in, which sucks. But let's wait to see, man. I mean, if this just goes now, then it's a dish best served cold because because we have more shares now than we did before. So let's wait to see if Microsoft can get going off that little bottom there. I'm kind of surprised. I thought it'd have more legs. Even though the NASDAQ's not really moving, I just thought Microsoft would go a little bit more. We're only in the money 12 pennies here. I was thinking that we'd have more. So let's not get too greedy. We are going to get some out. Come on, one more penny up. We're at 18. That's unbelievable. Oh, we got filled. Okay. I was going to say we're at 18. I can't believe we didn't get that fill. But there it is, 244.18. So it's a 50-cent or 15-cent win. No, 18-cent win. But we're going to go upside now. We're waiting for 244.60 here. Come on, NASDAQ, let's go. I'm already long Palantir and Microsoft. So, okay, that looks like a good out there again. So we're going to have to battle this market, Neil. It doesn't look like it wants to go.
Yeah, I mean, Tesla, it'll go like $1 in the money, and then it'll come right back into flat. Yeah, I mean, like, I just saw like 13. I know the likes are kind of messed up when you look at YouTube, but I think I refreshed and I just saw like 1,300. I'm like, come on, man. Like, Sean's making references to like Star Trek, which is awesome because I'm the nerd around here. But either way, we're showing you AMC, and I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna wait for AMC. I'm gonna only go short, which is kind of dumb when you see it's not dumb. It's just I know it's counter trend. I know we missed out on some long opportunities. That stinks. Clearly the breakouts at 11.25, maybe even 11 even. Maybe even every single price for long was good up until that 12.35. But once it made that turn, and I showed you guys that price in the 15-minute, that's when I really started thinking about bearish. If you miss out on the longs, I'm not going to be married to chasing it. When I didn't get that breakdown, as I was talking about a couple of other things, I said, yeah, but it's probably going to give you a chance to get right back into that 85 range. Well, that's what it's done. I'm short again on AMC at 80. Well, I wasn't short 82 before, and I'm short again on the stock, this time at 82s. I tend to have tight stops when I play it this far away from the range. So if it gets into what this cluster was, like this 11.95 to 12, that's about as far as I want it to go. I don't even think I'd let it break that 12 even, because at that point, I'm looking for something at the top end of the range. You want like a false breakout type look. If I had shorted that consolidation, I'd be sitting out of the money thinking about what am I going to do next. Now it can actually take out this like 90 to 95 area, and I'm still up on the stock. So I think there's plenty of opportunity in AMC. That goes for bulls and bears alike. Whether or not this one works out for me, I don't know, but I'm probably likely to trade it many times in the afternoon, especially at the close where I think it could be quite good. I mean, Tesla, $1 away from that bottom. Tesla could be breaking the low of the day. It's probably the only trade I wanted to put on was defending this bottom. And this is it. If it breaks that, I'm not even sure what I like till 560.
And guys, here we go. Dap it up, ADA. Crypto's crashing right now, but Cardano is at all-time highs. So this is just fantastic. I cannot believe we're at 191. We're laughing. I'll be coming home with some bottles today, I believe. 191 to the upside here. Again, you're counting your chickens before they hatch. I mean, I'm not out of anything. We did change some Bitcoin last night into more ADA at about 166 or so. So that's a good move to the upside. So happy with that move. But until you cash out, I did cash out a little bit of ADA. But now at 191, Cardano, who knows how far this thing will go. I've talked about some of the projects. I don't know what the move is today, so I'll have to read it. But we do know that they're back in Africa. I talked a little bit about that with you guys today as well. So Cardano making moves, man. Like, I'm so glad that I'm way overexposed in crypto as opposed to equity markets because, wow, if I wasn't, I would be as happy right now because stock's falling, man. Baba, Uber, IBM doing nicely as well. Here's the board that I normally look at, guys. Whoops. Oh, crow. You guys liked that last time, and so I wanted to show it to you again. I don't know where it is. Shoot, I lost it. Actually, I'll just minimize all this and show you guys quickly. There it is. So these are some of the names I'm looking at. Can you guys see that? Maybe zoom in a little bit more on that one, guys. There we go. Thank you. So Peloton today up 5%. Turn 360 there into computers, supercomputers. Roku, Microsoft, Apple, GM, AbbVie. They're all pretty good. And then look at the downside here today. Cannabis. We talked about T-God, the green organic Dutchman, can go to hell. Canada Goose is on there. Some more marijuana names. Nio's on there to look at always. That's down 4%. Chewy's down. So there's some names that are down, man, today. There's Tilray. That can also go into the depths. But some good names today and some names bumping as well. So I like to see all these major cap names turning around. Microsoft and Apple leading the way there, guys.
Yeah, I mean, and leading the way to the downside, Tesla looks like it's going to test that low of the day, and it's not going to be able to hold up, guys. That 578 is gone. I'm gonzo on it. So I liked one trade. It was just sort of it was on my quote board there, so I want to make sure I got out of the trade. Tesla. we tried our shot, and then you break the low, and we got to get out of you. So I don't even like it. Like I said, I don't know where I like this thing until we get to like a 560. To be perfectly honest with you guys, and maybe it's going to be one of those things where that's the shakeout, and it just slams back to the upside. Do I consider getting back into it? Maybe, but it has to be off of that same level again. So it has to really be a fake sell and then come right back to the upside. Otherwise, I'm not going to be touching Tesla again. It's got to get back above that 580 price, and we'll take another shot at it. If the market's really not screaming to the downside. But if we're going to be getting that pullback, and I talk about this because we are back above 50,000, but it was a break of 50,000 when Coinbase started its move down towards the low. Now it's only at 68, so it's not really at 65, 66, where I obviously like it, but starting to get close. You want to have a plan of action for when it gets there. Coinbase has usually been pretty good off of some of these levels. I say that knocking on wood because when you make a comment like that, it's usually right in front of the first time you lose playing a level like that. So let's see if we get a couple of more pegs down. The only reason why we might not, and I have to think about an earlier entry, is the fact that there is that recovery over 50,000, which psychologically could cause some buying to come into this off that same level. Everyone's looking at the same charts, guys. Everyone can kind of see that same like pre-market low. Everyone can go back and see how well it's performed when it makes that kind of a base. So you might want to think about getting a little bit early. With only 4 minutes to go, it is time for us to get over to Brendan for some earnings, I think.
Earnings. Let's talk about what's coming up. We still have a few guys to get through, some decent ones on this board. Speaking of cannabis, Sean.
Yeah, right in the middle there, Aurora. Aurora. Okay, we got to change it. That's going to be Tilray now. So TLRY. I guess that's coming tomorrow. Wow. Okay. Tilray. I see you there. I'm guessing that's what that is. We'll have to switch that up a bit. And then what else do we have there? Obviously, Neil's been talking about Coinbase today.
Disney. Not that Disney's been doing anything.
Disney's there. I don't even see Disney. Where's Disney?
It's right there.
Oh, right in the middle.
Yeah.
I'm too fast.
Not that it's doing anything. That's
oh my God, Disney. I'm holding Disney, but let's look at the stock of Disney here quickly, guys. Disney's been failing off the top, Neil, and as you know, we're all big fans of everything that Disney's doing. Marvel, Star Wars. We both obviously own what do they call Disney Plus?
Disney Plus.
But
take my money.
That's been killed off that top, guys. So we'll wait to see on Disney. A nice bounce back today, 0.83. Is that a bounce back? But yeah, watch out. I'd hate to see this number, but I don't think they miss because, isn't there more streaming subscribers? Netflix didn't have a great one, but I believe in Disney, so let's wait to see what happens there. I'm most interested in that Tilray, but I don't know about how that earnings is going to go. That may not be reported, so we'll wait to see. But cannabis obviously on fire to the downside. Light your money on fire and invest in one of those cannabis names.
Ouch. That is cold.
I hold them all, so I feel like that's what I've been doing lately.
Look, it is what it is. I'm at least a little bit concerned about Disney. I know, I love the company, I love everything they do, but we talked about this with Mark. It's just it hasn't been able to go anywhere. And now that it broke that 180, if earnings aren't good here, I kind of think they will be, but if they get sold off anyways, it could be one of those situations where I wouldn't want to trim below that 180 because it just feels like it's going to be testing 10% lower in the near future. And we'll see what happens. The market effect today, if the market holds up, that could change my mind. We're turning around now, so I don't want to speak too early. There's a lot of day left, and of course we have our show coming at the end. Make sure you come right back for it at 3:15 because it's going to be a hot one. It always is, but it's going to be an extra special one today. We do one more thing before we get out of here, and look, man. I can confidently say every single time there's one of these like food-related national days, I'm like, I wish we could have that. Today, we get our wish. Let's go to Ms. V.
Holla.
Hey guys, I hope you're all doing great. Thank you very much for joining us today. And please don't leave without hitting thumbs up. Guys, our likes number are at the bottom. We really need more likes. So make sure to click the like button and come back at 3:15 p.m. Eastern Time to trade the close together. And happy National Fruit Cocktail Day, everyone.
Oh, shit,
especially
Valeria.
Sean.
You're responsible for this. I'm putting you directly responsible. I should have had a fruit salad at some point today. There it is. There's the fruit salad. I don't have one, but I didn't know that was the day. So damn it. Thank you, Valeria, for that one. But National Fruit Salad Day. Stay healthy, stay hydrated, eat fruit salad, guys.
That picture, that one has like, we never get peaches in ours, but we usually get like, get the grapes. So Sean will show it off there. We get the, sometimes it's all melon, like the other day.
Yeah,
mine was all melon, which is fine, but that's a little bit extreme. So yeah, obviously it's delicious, and we'll have some after the show. Make sure you come back, like we said. And I do believe, you mentioned it, Sean, as well, but stick around because right after, learn a little bit about some of the trading resources that Day Trade the World has to offer. Sean's will be doing a fantastic video with one of our partner recruitment team as well. So always learn a little bit more about our main sponsor. We trade on that platform. Everyone is always asking us, like, what do Sean and Neil trade on? Yeah, it's Pre-Pro 8 with Day Trade the World. Stick around to learn about it. But you know what we try to do around here? Got to go down the line. It's been a fantastic and fun morning. Thank you guys for all the support. It's been exciting, and it continues to be every single day. Usually we get Valeria in that one, but I guess not today. Fine for Miss V 1,000 times over.
Pissed.
And I know you want to see her face. Turn around. You're on camera. You are on camera right now. There you go.
Thank you.
There it is, even with the bow. I love it.
The fancy hair and everything today, too.
Every day
Yes,
she's got
it
the
is.
fancy hair.
Where am I again?
You know, the curls. Yeah, I wish I could curl my hair, but that would be...
Oh, Lucas is going to hear all about that. That's fine. Look, we love you guys, Lucas and Rob and Maggie. I don't know where she went. Down the line for Miss V, for my man Sean Katina, you'll get your fruit salad.
Yep.
And then Brendan in the nice
Hey,
shirt.
there we go.
There you go. That's the look. Now that she's not turning around, guys. I'm Neil Roberts. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening.
There we go.
Wherever you are in the world. This is Trader TV Live, and we're a mess. We'll see you back at 3:15. Bye, guys.